Mines where they found me and a couple of other dwarves. And then we were looking for materials to craft like things that'll help repair the ship. And we kind of stumbled upon a secret part in the mine, and that's where we're basically picking up.
All right, so
We
let me fill in just a little bit of the gaps there. When the ship was hit with the avalanche, you guys you lost sight of Novek, Valar, and Emmett. They were on their horses trying to outrun the avalanche and didn't make it. Um, During the fray is when you guys met or came upon another wagon that had Renault and his party traveling towards you guys. As you guys are yelling back and forth, that's what triggered the avalanche. So during the avalanche, pretty much everybody in Renault's party except for him were either lost or killed. Tegan and Storm were able to find Renault. They were able to get Remora back into the ship. She got thrown from the ship into a tree. They also found a severed leg. Upon further inspection, it appeared to be a centaur leg. Um, all the glass spheres were destroyed during the avalanche, so that's why when Nimbus said they needed more glass and a forge to make more spheres, Alamor informed him of an old mine he worked at a couple summers ago. They had a forge, and they had known caches of what they called crap gems, which are basically made out of glass. And that's where most of the party traveled into the mines to basically try to extract some more glass and to build some more of the glass spheres. And once inside the mine, that's where they found Porto and the two dwarves, where Porto basically um, has hired the two dwarves to bring them back to the mine to do a little bit of research on something strange they found in here. Did I miss anything else, guys? Oh yeah, and Portal almost died
no, I
like
think that's pretty
twice.
good.
They stumbled into this last room you see on the screen here, where they had some. They ran into some gelatinous cubes, and there was a bunch of debris scraped up against all the doors. Uh, Portal almost died. Actually, I think he did die. They had to revive him.
So you're just getting started?
Yeah, I'm just going to do a quick little recap of where we were. All right. So anything else I missed there, guys? That's important. Oh, yeah, there was two more things. You guys, inside this last room, you guys found a strange-looking cloak. Strange because everything else in here is like old, rusted, and withered, and dried up and crumbling. This cloak appears to be still in relatively good shape for how old everything else seems around it. And you guys also found another bastard sword with a strange insignia upon the hilt. Okay, so we'll get started. As of right now, the party is split, so I will kind of jump back and forth between where the party is now and where Roland and Quarren are still back on the ship, and we'll give you guys a chance to kind of role play and figure out if you guys get back together, or well, I'll jump back and forth for a while on the two different scenarios there. You guys okay with that?
Yep.
Yep.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, so I'm going to first jump back over to the ship to where Roland and Quarren are, and then we'll come back into this room so you guys be thinking about what you want to do when I come back here, okay?
Okay, Roger. Okay, Roger.
Okay, so Roland and Quarren, last thing you guys remember was basically being caught up in this, the ship being thrown real hard up against one side. You guys are both below deck trying to get some rest. Roland, you rolled up against the side of the deck and blacked out. That's the last thing you remember. Quarren, you also were slammed up against the side of the hull. Had excruciating pain in your shoulder, and you blacked out as well. Quarren, you have come to at this point. Your shoulder feels a little bit better, but it's wrapped up into a sling, and you're sitting in one of the cots underneath the hull. Remora is also in the room with you. She kind of notices you waking up at this point, and she's got a cold washcloth over your head and stuff, or like you've been sweating. She's been kind of cleaning off some of the bumps and bruises in there. You also see Roland over in the bed next to you. Still appears to be asleep.
Remora. Remora. What's happened? I don't remember anything.
She kind of looks at you and says, "Oh, it was crazy. These guys were just yelling back and forth at these people in front of us, and then the mountain just came down on us. You two were below deck, and we came downstairs, and we found both of you just slumped up against the wall. Your shoulder was it was very badly dislocated, but Kish and I got together and we were able to snap it back in place. So you appear to be okay, but I'm just glad you're awake now. Roland, he hasn't come to yet. I'm not sure how bad he's hurt. He's got a pretty good bump on his head. Other than that, he just got thrown around a little bit.
Is everyone else okay?
Well, it depends on who you ask. I mean, everybody's kind of bumped up pretty bad. We lost Navek. We don't know where he and the boys are, and all the spheres, they're busted, and we had no way of replacing those. The wheels have been rammed off. One of the sails have been ripped. I mean, Kishin's up on deck right now with Jimba working on some of the repairs and what. But the rest of the group head into some old mines to try to find some an old forge that Olimar mentioned that they could use to make some more of these glass spheres. Without that, we're just stuck here for the winter. There's no way we can survive here.
Oh no. Well, let me check Roland and see if I can get him awake. Maybe me and him can go help out the group. Should I go over and try and stir Roland and maybe I think I have medicine actually. Get some sleeping salts out or something.
Alright, so before you cast wounds or anything like that, Roland, you're seeing visions just sporadically. Everything goes black, then it goes bright. It goes black, and it goes bright again. And in between your visions, you see these mirrored oval shapes with dark creatures walking in and out of them. Just large, grotesque-looking shapes. Looks somewhat like those toad-looking creatures that you saw before in the small party. And every time it blacks out, it goes pitch black. You come back in, you see a different-looking oval, and almost in a different-looking place, with these creatures walking in or out of this glowing oval. At that, you come to from Corn kind of shaking you.
Yeah, I'm just writing all that down.
I'm sorry?
I got it though. Yeah, I was just writing all that down. I got it. Yeah, I was just writing all that down. I got it.
And at that, you slowly start coming to as you feel someone kind of shaking your shoulder.
God. What is it?
Roland, something's happened. The ship's damaged and the group seems to be split up. I could surely use our help if you're able to get up and on your feet.
At this, I like kind of spring up, like realizing I wasn't just sleeping, like something happened, and then I just kind of put my hand to my head, but oh God, what happened?
Well, I was knocked out as well, but Remoris told me that there's an avalanche after some shouting, and the ship's been damaged, and the group has went into the mines nearby to try and search for supplies to help with the repairs, and some other people have also gone missing, like Navek.
Oh God. What do you propose we do? Alright, what do you propose we do right now?
I'd like to link up with Tegan and see if he needs any help in these mines.
Yeah. Sounds good. Yeah. Sounds good. I'll follow along. Just don't mind me. I'm just trying to gather my head right now. It's splitting headache right now.
So Ramor overhears your conversation. He's looking. Do you guys even know where the mines are? It seems like Olimar was the only one that really knew where it was.
No, I was hoping you'd be able to point us in the
I
direction.
can point you in the direction they walked, but it was. I think Olimar said it was like a half a mile, maybe a mile back down the road. What you can see left of the road.
How How long ago did they leave?
Oh, let's say at this point it's probably been 4 to 6 hours is what I'll say.
Has it been snowing outside? Has it been snowing outside?
Off and on, yes.
I was hoping we might be able to track. I was hoping we might be able to track their footsteps from the snow, but if all we got is a direction, then I guess we can do our best to track them. Corn, are you good tracker?
I'm decent. I'm decent. I've had my fair share of needing to do some tracking in my scouting adventures.
Good enough. All right, let's
Alright,
go.
so as you guys go up on deck, you can see the damage that's been weighed upon the ship. I mean, got a broken mast. You see Kishin off to the side trying to rig up some kind of a reinforcement on the ship, as trying to like almost dig out where the spheres are supposed to be. You see remnants of a large sail where Moore's been working on the ripped mainsail that was basically had a tree explode right through it. Jim is kind of running around trying to straighten things up and help Kishin with supplies and doing minor repairs upon the deck and the railing and whatnot. Alright.
Call it to Jimba. Call it to Jimba. Jimba.
Jimba just kind of looks at you and shrugs.
Where'd everybody else go? Where'd everybody else go?
Jimba looks at you and points inside his mouth, and then he kind of turns around and points in the general direction of where he thinks they walked off to.
It's right, it's your brother Nimba that can talk.
He
Alright.
kind of snickers and nods at you.
You think you can repair everything here? You think you can repair everything here?
I'm sorry, I missed that. What?
You think you can repair everything here? You think you can repair everything here?
Jimba again kind of shrugs and he points over to Kishin. Kishin looks over at you and says, "Eventually, yeah, but if we don't get those glass spheres, we're stuck here. I can't rebuild the wheels. I don't have the right equipment to do that, to form those." Teague had mentioned something about trying to make some sleds. I can do that, but I've got to build up this reinforcement first before I can even attempt to try to make some sleds to hold this thing up. I got at least a day's worth of work to do here.
Alright, let me know if you need anything else. Alright, let me know if you need anything else. I guess Corn and I are gonna head
Hold on
out.
that 1 second. Let's switch back over to the other map. Let these guys kind of play through where they're at now, and we'll jump back over to you. Okay?
Yep, sounds good. Yep, sounds good.
Yep.
Alright, so you guys have just finished, I guess Porto just finished, basically frying everything up. Almost like in a frying pan on the last of these cubes here. Olimar and Bruinor are kind of back towards the back corridor where you guys came in, looking around kind of nervously like they want to get the hell out of here. Bruinor's like, "Okay, what else do we need in here? Let's get the hell out of here. We got to get this glass."
Agreed, we need to get the glass. Agreed, we need to get the glass.
I'll take a minute just to gather a few samples from these gelatinous cubes.
You're going to get a few samples. What exactly you trying to do?
Porter is going to attempt to salvage some remains from the gelatinous cubes so that he
Microphone
can
muted.
do some
Microphone activated.
studying on their properties and see if he can turn them into anything
What are you going to try to put
useful.
the samples into? Because you know this stuff is somewhat acidic. Did you guys hear me?
Maybe something, yeah. Maybe something, yeah, I'm thinking, maybe something that can be coated on a weapon.
Okay, so you're just going to try to scrape some on like a dagger or something like that?
Oh, you mean that you don't know what I'm going to use to,
Correct.
like, contain it? Ah, okay. Alright, let's see. All right, let's see.
What are you trying to do, friend Porto? What are you trying to do, friend Porto?
I'm trying to salvage some acidic mush.
And swimming in it wasn't enough for you?
Nope.
Out of character. That was awesome. All right, so you can fumble around with this what's left of this little blob of jelly on the floor here. You look around. You gotta try to find something you can put it into. Anything you try picking up, it's not like a metal material. You can almost feel it like kind of burning it, bring it away. You're going to need some kind of a glass or a ceramic type of jar or something in order to contain this without it ruining whatever you put it in.
I'm sure there's probably more of them around here. I'm sure there's probably more of them around here if you get to look around. But for now, should we maybe not get back and maybe try to find more of this glass?
Sure.
Are you feeling okay? You look pretty banged up.
I'm fine. I just need a rest, and I'll be better.
Yeah,
Okay.
so during that ordeal where Portal was engulfed in that gelatinous cube, his long flowing hair has been reduced to just a few little locks on a somewhat bald slash shaved head almost, and his clothes are pretty frayed, pretty bad, and parts of his body where they've been healed slightly look like they've been severely burned.
Reynolds is gonna walk up and he's gonna cast Cure Wounds at a 2nd level on Porto.
Alright, go ahead and roll it. Nice.
Whoa, thank you.
Damn. Olimar, do you know where there's any more of these gems we're looking for? Preferably ones without the jelly thing.
Any more of the gems? The glass ones?
Yes, we need more.
They're all over the place. We
we
just
need
gotta
more.
keep looking along these tunnels here. There's a couple spots here marked on the map, I think. If we keep following this map, I'm sure we can find some more.
Then I say we try to find a little bit more before we go back to Nimba. I doubt what we have is enough for even
As you
one
guys recall,
sphere.
last time you collected maybe enough for about half a sphere. So if you guys want to start investigating more of the tunnels, you have to give me some more investigation checks. I think what I said last time, you guys will get 4 checks for every hour.
Reynolds is gonna
Okay.
pull out the map again. Reynolds is gonna pull out the map again and just kind of start looking over it. I think Tegan's right. I think we need to get some more of these shots, and then we can head back.
What Porter's gonna do is let's see here. He's going to scrape some of the acidic. He has a small knife, and he begins to scrape some of it, and
Do you have a mess kit, friend Porto? Do you have a mess kit, friend Porto? Perhaps you could scrape it into that.
no, but if someone does have some sort of glass container,
Not much call for glass.
and will
Not
allow
much
me
call
to.
for glass in the middle of the wild. Sorry.
Olimar overhears him talking. He opens up a little glass jar that he had some old dried up pickles in out of his backpack. He's like, "Here, will this do?" And he kind of pulls one of the pickles out and he starts chewing on it. Anybody else want a pickle?
Yes. Sure.
All right, at that you're able to scrape, maybe about a third of the jar full of this gelatinous goo. And Alamar looks at you like, "You're not putting that back in my backpack. That's for you to carry there."
All right. Thank you. All right. Thank you.
All right. So based on Renault and Teague's investigation checks that I saw, you guys basically find about 6 more caches. Not 6 caches. 3 more caches of this glass gems, and you're able to retrieve about 6 glass spheres worth of gems per your estimations.
So we take this back to Nimba and see if it's enough. I say we take this back to Nimba and see if it's enough. If not, we'll come back out and look for more.
Good. Lead the way, Tegan. Sounds good. Lead the way, Tegan.
You weren't keeping track of how we got here? You weren't keeping track of how we got here?
Who has the map?
I have a map. We can get back. We're fine. But
Then perhaps
just
you should
the
lead the
easy-
way, for I
Fine.
I can't see the sky.
Reynolds gonna kind of go over the map and lead him back the middle shaft towards the
All right,
breakup,
Renault,
the
give
like
me
three-way
3
split.
survival checks, all at advantage, since you have the map.
I still think swimming in it was quite enough. I still think swimming in it was quite enough, Porto. You really didn't need to bring it back with you.
I must study it. I must study it.
It wanted to eat you.
All right, you're able to make it back to the main room where you guys left Nimba and Disa, the other dwarf, working on the forge. All right, so before we switch to that map, I'm gonna go back to Renault and Porto. All right, so Jimba kind of pointed the right direction, and Remora kind of also nods, says, "Yeah, it was back that direction. They said it was like a half-mile back. All I remember is Olimar said it was some mine that was closed for the season, that was here. He worked last summer, maybe summer or 2 ago."
Well, we'll keep an eye out for it. Hopefully, we can just find their footprints or some kind of trail.
All right, I'll give each of you 3 survival checks, and since it's been 4 to 6 hours, it's been snowing, it's going to be at disadvantage.
Great start. Oh no.
Okay, Roland saves the day. Roland, you're able to pick up on the trail very faintly. It's not so much the trail, their footprints. It's almost like you can see a trail where someone's like dragging a bag back behind a couple of really small footprints. But you guys can,
That would be my buddy.
make your way up to the mine entrance.
Good eye,
So
Roland.
you guys approach the mine entrance. You probably saw this in the last session, but you'll see a couple old, decrepit, looks like hauling wagons, broken wagon wheels and busted up bodies on them. You see one smaller covered wagon, much better shape, underneath an old bare tree off to the side. The mine entrance itself, it's got a big sign on top of it. It says Stone Spire Mining Company, no trespassing, and it's basically got a big iron gate closing out the entrance to it, like you'd find in an old jail cell.
Is there anyone else here? Is it look completely abandoned? Is there anyone else here? Is it look completely
looking?
abandoned? Like around the gate. Is there anyone around the gate? Like around the gate. Is
No,
there anyone
you don't
around
see
the
anybody else
gate?
around the gate.
Look over Corin. Show a head in. Look over Corin. Show a head in.
Well, the trail led here. They must be inside.
Alright, let's head in.
So you
All
try
right,
to
let's head in.
open up the gate, and you realize that the gate has been locked.
Don't suppose you're any good at.
Yes.
Is there like a lock on the gate? Look at Corin. Don't suppose you can lock pick. Look at Corin. Don't suppose you can lock pick this, can you?
I might be able to with my kick. I don't have tools though. Does it look like I could bust the door down at all, or is it like
it appears to be a
solid
pretty
metal?
stout gate on it. I mean, you can give it a shot. You're gonna have to really put your force into it to be able to break it open, from what you can tell.
So if need be, I can use this tonight. So if need be, I can use this tonight. Summon a two-handed sword.
Now, wisdom. Give me a wisdom check.
From him.
Yes, from Roland. Sorry.
From him. Okay.
Yep, you think your two-handed sword is very mighty. You can take this door down with one swoop.
Cool. Cool.
All right, so what are you guys gonna try to break it open? Is that what you guys gonna do?
You want me to try and give it a go, or do you? You want me to try and give it a go, or do you?
You want to go first? Or want me to go first?
I'll go first. That sword, for all we know, it could get dented or something. You don't want dings in it. It costs money. No, do you want me to give you a... It's not your sword? Oh, that's right, it's Pack's sword. Do you want me to give you a
just roll
strength,
me
or
whatever
what do you
your
want for
normal
that?
damage is.
Alright.
All right, so explain to me how you're hitting it. You punching it? You kicking it? What are you doing?
I'm trying to, like, kick downward like a drop kick. I'm trying to, like, kick downward like a drop kick almost on the lock to try
Alright,
and
so
break it
your
off.
foot comes down solid right where the joint of the locking mechanism is. You hear a couple of crunching noises, and you see the lock face itself kind of cave in. You can see the bolt kind of twist and turn in the gate. It's still there, but just barely. You think maybe another hit or two, and you can break through it.
Do you want to go, or do you want me to finish it up? Do you want to go, or do you want me to finish it up?
Nice swipe at the. I'll give it a shot. Nice swipe at the lock.
Look at you with your crit damage with the sword. Okay, your sword comes down and it clangs up against what's left of the deadbolt, and it kind of just falls to the ground as your sword kind of bounces back off of it a little bit. You see a flash of spark from your sword, and the gate kind of swings inward open.
There we go. Alright, let's go inside.
Nice work.
There we go. Alright, let's go inside.
Nice work.
I need everybody that's inside, not Roland and Quarren, to roll me a perception check. So I need Tegid, Renault, and Porto.
Oh.
Porto, can you give me a perception check?
Yes. Yes.
Alright, Tegid, you seem to hear like a loud clanging noise coming from further up the tunnel, kind of the direction of where the gate entrance is.
What in the skies is that? What in the skies is
Looks
that?
at- No,
What
the
are you
dwarf
talking
kinda
about,
looks at-
Tegan?
I locked it! I swear! I locked it!
Well, it sounds like someone's trying to beat it in. Well, it sounds like someone's trying to beat it in. Does no one hear that but me?
I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't hear anything.
Well, take this stuff on the Nimba. I'm
Alright,
gonna go check the
Roland
front
and,
door.
Sorry, go ahead.
Are you think it's wise? Are you think it's wise to go by yourself?
Well, you're more than welcome to come with me, but someone must check.
Alright, Roland and Quarren, as you guys walk through the gate entrance, which I'm assuming you did, you guys will see a series of empty stables off to the left until you get to the very last two stables, and you guys will see there's a couple horses in there on the far stables to the left inside this large corridor. At the end of the corridor are two large barn doors that lead deeper into the cavern itself. Along the right side of the wall, you can see a couple of makeshift outhouses or chamber pots lined along the side.
Do Do I
Horses.
recognize the horses to be, what was that guy's name?
Navek,
Navex?
give me an investigation.
Navex? Nope.
That looks just like Roland's
Nope.
horse. I'm sorry, just like Navek's horse.
Look at the record. Hey, I think Navex might be here. I think this is his horse.
Oh, well, they said he was missing, so maybe we found him.
Yeah, I might just ran up ahead and was able to miss lunch.
Hopefully, that
The
was
horses
bad.
just kind of stomp at the ground a little bit and kind of sniff loudly at you. Retreat back into the stable a little bit deeper.
We should look around and see if we can find him here. We should look around and see if we can find him here.
I'm gonna try and listen around, see if yeah, I'm gonna try and listen around, see if I hear or see anything, signs of anyone moving in further.
All you hear is the rustling
Apparently
sound
not,
of the
though.
horses in the stables. Alright, Tegid, in your group.
Well,
I'm going to go toward the main door with anybody who's coming. I'm going to go toward the main door with anybody who's coming with me. Bow at the ready.
Who's going
Bow
with
at the ready.
Renault's gonna stay back and take the stuff. Renault's gonna stay back and take the stuff over to Nimba, and like look at the map while
Olimar
they're
pipes up,
working.
says, I'll go with you, Tegid. He puts his pot over his head again, pulls out his little carving knife, says, we'll cut anybody up that comes close.
Come on then, Olimar.
He starts
Come on
waddling his
then,
way
Olimar.
towards you. All his pots and pans are clanging.
Can
as
always
he's
rely on the
kinda
cook.
waddling up behind you. Alright, Roland and Quarren, give me perception checks.
High roller tonight. Oh man.
Alright, Quarren, you see that
Nice.
the barn door appears like it's been opened recently. You can see the kind of markings on the floor where the door's kind of swung open, then back shut again. It's still ajar a couple inches.
well, this door is ajar, so someone's clearly well, this door is ajar, so someone's clearly been here, and it seems like almost recently. Perhaps we should check it out.
Alright, you guys going through?
Yep.
Alright, so you guys open the barn door and see a large, dark corridor that goes beyond what you guys can see from the light shining through the front gate. Both of you guys have dark vision?
Well, I have dark visions.
Alright, so you guys can see that's 60 feet in dark. Is that correct? Okay, you can just see the corridor goes
for elves.
deeper into the cavern. So it goes 60 feet to the extent of your vision.
It's dark down there. I'm not sure if a human would go. It's dark down there. I'm not sure if a human would be able to see down it, but it could be pretty deep in. We don't know how far it goes.
Only one way to find out. Only one way to find out.
Let's push on. Alright, let's push
You guys
on.
make it, another 60 feet down. You see the corridor starting to kind of open up a little bit wider. Give me one more perception check, everybody. Oh, Porter, you stayed back in the main room, correct?
Oh,
No, that's my fault.
Yeah.
I said
oh,
everybody.
right. Okay.
All right,
Yeah.
Tigid, you notice that there's something coming down the hallway, but you can't make out what it is. Your bow's at the ready, correct?
Halt, or you'll be shot. Halt, or you'll be shot. Identify yourself.
It's Corn and Roland. Is that you, Tegan? It's Corn and Roland. Is that you, Tegan?
I thought I left you at the ship. I thought I left you at the ship.
You did. You tried to leave us.
Well, you weren't exactly awake when I left.
Yeah. Well, we're here now, so. Are you guys all right? Have you managed to find some supplies for the repairs?
We're working on it. We've located the materials. We need to get it back to Nimba and see if he can make use of them, though.
Great. Where is he?
Down this way.
Great. Where is he?
Down this way. Follow me. And I'll lead back toward the forge.
All right, I'm not going to explain the entire room again, but you guys open up to a larger corridor, and Nimba is in the back room in the forge room, working feverishly with the glass gems you guys provided over there. He seems excited, working pretty hard on the next glass sphere inside the forge. Tells you guys he's probably going to be another couple hours to finish off these next 4 or 5 glass spheres, but he thinks in the end you guys will have a total of 6 good spheres to take back to the ship.
Will that be enough, Nimba? Will that be enough, Nimba?
We only need 4, so if we run into another avalanche, no, that's not enough. But hopefully no more of those avalanches. You guys will just stop your yelling when we're in the mountain pass.
Very well. Get them done. Very well. Get them done. Holler if you need help. I believe the cook and I shall try to fix some dinner.
Oh yeah, let me switch to the good map. Sorry. Thank you, Renault.
I was just worried that my page wasn't loading. I was just worried that my page
that was
wasn't
me.
loading.
Okay, I think I'm missing Roland's piece in here. So 1 second, let me go get Roland in here. Alright, so T, I see your note in the chat. So you slide on the bracers. Like before, I think we mentioned before, these seem a little bit tougher, a little bit harder, a little bit lighter than what you're used to as far as normal bracers. You almost feel a little bit more nimble, a little bit more dexterous, so to speak. And you definitely notice the symbol of that strange symbol. It's still upon the outside of the bracers, small on the inside of the wrist.
Very well. Very well.
After you kind of test them out a little bit, kind of sling them around like you're almost like wanting to be a monk, so to speak, you can almost feel yourself being more defensive, and your AC increases by 1.
Sweet.
Alright, so you said you also put that cloak on?
Yes.
Okay, how exactly are you putting it on?
Pulling around my shoulders.
Okay.
Pulling around my shoulders.
Put your cloak on. You're still kind of surprised about how good a shape it's in, depending on how long it's probably been in that room, but you don't notice anything quite different about it, other than that odd-looking stitching on the hood.
It's in better shape than I currently have, so I'll switch to it. It's in better shape than I currently have, so I'll switch to it. My current one's a bear hide. My current one's a bear hide.
Okay. Nimba's in the back, kind of working away. You see Olimar kind of walk over to one of these old barrels, and he starts looking inside there. See him kind of take out an old cup, dips it down the bottom of it, comes back up, says, "She's a little old, but she'll do." He takes a big gulp. Bruno kind of shakes his head. "That stuff's been in here for months. You're liable to get the squirts." Olimar kind of laughs. "It won't be the first time. It won't be the last." Alright, so
Porto will continue
Research
doing
on-
his research
that's not in this part
on
of the
the
mine.
structure.
Are you going to head back down to that part of the mine?
Yes, and he'll bring that gem with him. Yes, and he'll bring that gem with
You're
him.
just going to walk down there on your own? What do you want to do?
Yeah.
As Bruno sees you
Yeah,
walk
he'll
on,
just
says,
walk
"Hey,
off on his
hold on
own.
a minute there, boss man. You saw what we just ran into. You're not going there by yourself. I'll go with you." to accompany wherever you go.
Well,
Issa,
thank you.
you staying here? You're going. Olimar, you want to go with? Olimar kind of looks at him and shakes his head and says, I don't know if I can take any more excitement. I think I'll just sit here and have myself a couple more drinks. He sits on top of the barrel and sticks his cup down in there again, pulls up some more.
Tegan sticks his head in. But how long you gonna be? Tegan sticks his head in. But how long you gonna
It's
be?
going to be another 2 or 3 hours at least.
I'll tag along with you, friend, if you don't mind. I'll tag along with you, friend, if you don't mind.
Sure thing.
Okay. Anybody else want to go?
We, come along as well? Mind if we come along as well? More the merrier. You never know what's down there.
Well,
Renault will kind of go ahead.
I wouldn't be too worried about that part of the mine, but if you don't mind watching an elf doing boring work, then yeah, tag
Alright, so
along.
as you guys make... Go ahead.
Renault kind of like he just like shoves the map into his little backpack, and he's like, "I'll come along too. Who are our new friends here?"
No, I'm sorry. I neglected to introduce Corin and Roland. I go by introducing them to the group.
It's fine to meet you.
Hello.
Renault here, I managed to pull out of the snow, and, well, Porto we found here, obviously.
It's a pleasure to meet you all.
Glad to have you with
Lightfoot
us.
at your service, and he does like a little fucking.
Glad to have you with
Lightfoot
us.
at your service, and he does like a little fucking bow hand flare thing.
Olimar kind of walks up to Roland and Corn and says, you should have seen it, guys. They fought these big giant cubes, and that big tall skinny elf over there, he was inside one of them. I think he died.
Died? How is he standing here in front of us? Died?
Well,
How
you
is
know,
he
like,
standing
kinda
here
like,
in front of us then?
I don't know. He got eaten by it, but then I think Tegan pulled him out. But just look at him. He's missing half his hair, and all his clothes are kind of. He kind of fights back a little snicker a little bit, but he's okay now. He's okay.
I was wondering why he looked so odd, but it was a... I was wondering why he looked so odd, but it was a gelatinous cube that explains it.
Yes, there were some gigantic gelatinous cubes, and they kind of irritated me, so I finished them off.
More power to you then. Well, that's more power to you
Yeah,
then.
both the dwarves kind of all chime in. Oh, it was a sight to see. Yep, burned them up good. Burned them up to a crisp. Disa kind of makes his way back in the back.
That reminds me, Porto, would you like my old cloak?
Yes?
Tegan hands over an actual bear skin that he's turned into a cloak. Yeah, I seem to have located a new one.
Thank you, friend.
Yeah, I seem to have located a new one, so might as well make use of the old one too.
Olimar kind
appreciate
of looks at this farmer, kind of fancy high elf that he thought he saw earlier with his nice clothes and stuff. Now sitting with these tattered clothes and this old-looking bearskin rug for a cloak, and just kind of you can see him kind of fighting a smile that's on his face. Oh boy, I got some stories to tell now. I tell ya. Goes back and sits back over on his barrel, gets another drink of ale.
Come now, Omar. We've all been down in our luck. Come now, Omar. We've all been down in our luck. And there's no reason to bring bad karma upon
I'm
yourself.
not making fun of anybody. He kind of rolls his eyes a little bit.
Yes, very well.
It's okay.
Yes,
Bruno
very
pipes
well.
up. Okay, guys, are we going? Just stay behind me. This part of the mines is unstable, except for the one tunnel that we have secured to the boss man's workplace, shall we say?
Hearing this, Roland immediately cast Mage Armor.
All right, so go ahead.
Alright,
Okay, Okay, so Bruno kind of leads you guys back up into that main corridor where you had the three shafts along one side, and he kind of motions you guys into the cart on the right shaft, and slowly kind of drops 2 or 3 of you guys down at a time. You guys go down about, you're guessing maybe 250 feet down into this black shaft. Whoever doesn't have night vision, it's just pitch black at this point. Everyone gets down to the bottom. That's why he tells everyone, just stay along this one secure tunnel. Everything else down here is unstable, so as long as you stay here, you should be fine.
Roland produces a torch and lights it with his fingers. Roland produces a torch and lights it with his
Sorry,
fingers.
my human friend. I'm just so used to everyone here having dark vision. We forget about you humans.
That's okay. That's okay.
Alright, so he and Porto kind of lead you down this secure tunnel. And you finally, it's rough stone walls all through all these tunnels until you get to this one little archway. And you guys walk through, and you can see it's a much finer stonework along the bottom here. Let me put you guys in here. Is the fog of war on in here?
No,
Yes.
I can see perfectly fine. No, I
Yes.
can see perfectly fine.
Yeah, you have it on, but we can
Well,
you have it on, but we can see what you want us to see. I'm pretty sure.
No, I just asked because I
Yeah.
saw Roland grab his guy and move it out where the fog of war was.
Oh yeah, I could see my character. It was over here, but. Oh yeah, I could see my character. It was over here, but I couldn't see anything. I could just see my character.
Alright, so you guys make it through this first old, rusty, and dusty corridor. Area number 1 right there. Leads into a larger empty room at the bottom of the stairs where Porto's kind of leading you guys. Also another empty room off to the left before you guys went down the corridor where Bruno kind of walks into and kind of sits down on a chair that's been brought down. Everything else in this room is looking very, very old. If Porto shares with you guys, anything else you get that was in here before pretty much crumbles at the touch, with the exception of a couple of tables and chairs they brought down here for their research, so to speak. Down at the end of this room number 4 here, you guys can see along the end wall down here this large oval structure made of some kind of smooth and black material. It's severely cracked along pretty much the entire shape of it. Parts of it are broken off, parts of it are missing, and you can see some kind of strange markings pretty much all along the face of the outer ring of this this oval structure.
This room looks to be incredibly old. This room looks to be incredibly old.
yes, easily hundreds of years old.
What led you here? What led you here?
Let's just say I'm drawn to mysterious artifacts.
Determined what this artifact does yet? Have you determined what this artifact does yet?
Not yet, but I feel I might be close.
So, Porter, I think I shared with you already that the gem that you bought off of Bruenor, you can't quite figure it out, but you can feel almost like it's drawn to this oval. You can't feel it physically being pulled to it, but it's almost like it's a mystical feeling you get that this gem is being drawn towards this this structure.
Yeah, I'll try to focus, or I guess come closer to the portal with the gem and attempt to use Arcana to sense anything magical or
You have
anything
detect
that
magic?
might be off. No. I guess what Portal will try to do is read the markings on the portal. Or, well,
Okay, so you're going to look along those
Try to make
markings along
something of it.
the unbroken pieces of the portal. Is that what I heard?
Yes.
Okay, so you can kind of make out some symbols.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Does this look at Al anything familiar? What I saw in my vision? Does this look at Al anything familiar?
The
What
oval
I saw in my
structure
vision?
itself, no. The shape of it looks very similar to the ones you saw before, but this particular structure, you don't remember seeing this. You didn't get that close of a look of the actual portal. You saw it from a distance.
Gotcha. Okay. Gotcha. Okay. I'll also walk up with Porto and kind of inspect the runes and see if I can
Okay, as you
recognize
work
everything
from
like that.
left to right, kind of going, start at the bottom and work yourself up and then down to the other side of the portal, you can see a series of series of markings on there depicting different types of things. You see one that looks some kind of a demon face. You see one that appears to look like some kind of a mountain peak. You see another one that appears to be what looks like a city underneath a dome. You see a fourth one that looks like some kind of a merman or a merfolk. And you see another one that's like a circle of trees. So I need everybody that's looking at that, I guess that's just Portal and Roland at this point, to give me a history or intelligence check.
Ticket and Storm have taken a seat on the top of the steps, and Ticket and Storm have taken a seat on the top of the steps, and Ticket's feeding Storm some jerky.
Is this place still really dark, or is it lit up? Is this place still really dark?
Portal
or is
would
it
have had
lit up?
a torch in here, unless he put it out last time he left. But Tigid came in with a torch as well.
Yeah, Reynolds just like sticking close to the Teague with the torch. Yeah, Reynolds just like sticking close to the Teague with the torch.
That's right, you're a halfling, aren't you? Oh,
I can't
that's right, you're a halfling, aren't you?
Yep, I can't see shit.
Are there any stalactites?
Okay, let me answer one second. Let me resolve
ceiling.
your history checks here. Okay, Roland, you recognize. Let's see, your background as a warlock. You're going to recognize the demon face. It looks like you seem to recall stories of a fortress somewhere in this area called Fortress of the Half Demon, and the demon face you see on there resembles that slightly. You also, would you roll 19? Nope, you don't know that. Okay, and Porto, the mountain peaks, you seem to think those represent one of the mountain peaks within the Cold Lands area.
Tiga turns to Renault. If you want the torch, you can have it. Tiga turns to Renault. If you want the torch, you can have it.
I'm quite alright. I really see myself being of much use here.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Worse about what's above ground than what's below it.
Reynolds kind of like nods his head. He's like, yes. Reynolds kind of like nods his head. He's like, yes.
Jerky? There's a piece of jerky to it.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. He starts nomming on it.
It's deer.
Who picked up the sword in the last session?
I did. Porto did. I did.
Right, give me
Porto
one
did.
more perception check, Porto.
What check?
Perception?
What check? Okay.
Okay, just need a 10 on that one. You also notice that the symbol that the insignia you saw on the hilt of that sword matches that insignia of the city under the dome that's on this portal, on this structure.
Oh. Oh. So this So Roland, what have you been able to make out of these markings?
I only recognize the one over here, the demon-looking one. This appears to be uh, what was
Fortress
it,
of the
the
Half Demon is what you recall.
half demon. Yeah,
So since he
Fortress of the
announces
Half
that,
Demon.
anyone that heard that can roll me a history check to
Fortress.
see if they remember that as well.
Fortress of the Half Demon. I recognize the mark with the city under the dome, as it matches the insignia on this sword that I found deep within the mines.
Alright, Renault, as you heard Fortress of the Half Demon, you recall stories from your grandfather's grandfather of this fortress over in the realm of Rashomon to the east of you guys. It's a ruined stone fort. It was built thousands of years ago by the old Nar tribes, and it's fell into ruin at this point and is believed to be overthrown with demons and other creatures of the Underdark. The name of Half Demon came from the gate that used to be in front of it. That half of it has fallen off, so now it's only the face of half a demon.
Reynolds kind of like hearing them say that will like walk down closer. Reynolds kind of like hearing them say that will like walk down closer, and he tells them the story about not super long, like the short version of it, about how this used to be a fortress and it was overrun by the Underdark creatures. He also he kind of takes a look at the symbols they've been looking at, and he pulls out one of the mysterious silver coins that he had picked up in the other room, and I want to see if I can match the symbol on the coin that I didn't recognize to something on this structure.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious the marking on the coin matches the same one that's on that the hilt of the sword, that city under a dome.
And what did you say this place was, like Rasha something? And what did you say this
It's
place
one of
was,
here.
like
Let me switch to
Rasha
the map, and I'll show you guys on the map of the Codelands. So Rashomon, you can see, is this, I guess, realm over here, all along the outside of this, I guess, lake that kind of surrounds it. And the Fortress of the Half Demon is an old ruin located on this side of Lake Ashan. That's what you remember from centuries old stories from passed down from your grandfather and his grandfather as well. That this is an old ruin. No one's lived there in centuries, and it's purported to be infested with demons and other creatures of the Underdark. Some of the legends said that there's miles and miles of catacombs underneath this ruin that some say lead to different pocket planes within different planes.
So on the map, where are we? Because I was under the impression we were. So on the map, where are
Correct.
we?
That's
Because I
where
was
you guys
under
are
the
now.
impression we were like right
there
here.
between the giant Spire Mountains. There, how's that?
I think this might be. I think this might be something to do with the Temple of the Half Demon fortress. I believe, part of the Rashomon area of the Coldlands. I don't know much about it, but these symbols seem to be connected to a story I was once told.
Your recollection of the Half Demon is from the demon face symbol you see on the structure, not from that city under the dome. Just so we're clear.
Okay. Okay.
Alright, so now that you're closer and look at the symbols, you can roll me another history check if you're looking at that city under a dome in more detail.
Sorry, what?
Now that Renault has moved up closer to the portal,
Sorry,
and
what?
he recognizes that coin.
I don't know shit. I don't know shit. That's what counts.
But you can sing well.
That's what counts.
Yeah, you can't quite put two and two together. You're not sure what that city under the dome means or where that could possibly be. You're not sure if that has anything to do with the Fortress of the Half Demon or if it's something totally different.
Roland or Tegan has come over with him, realizing that Renault would kind of need the
Okay,
torch.
what exactly are you looking at?
Oh, nothing. He just walked over with Renault, so he had light. Oh, nothing. He just
okay.
walked over with Renault, so he had
I
light.
believe the symbol of the mountain peaks. I believe the symbol of the mountain peaks refer to some mountain within the cold lands. Maybe these symbols are related. Maybe these symbols are related. Did Porto hear about the Rashomon? Did Porto hear about the Rashomon?
Yeah, I think Renault would have been standing next to you at
Captain,
that point. You
thing.
weren't like hiding that from anybody, were you, Renault?
No, like I said, I extended it to like whatever the full extent. No, like I said, I extended it to like whatever the full extent I could.
You mean to imply, friend Renault, that these may be like a map?
They are definitely connected
Places?
to the Rashomon area of the Cold Lands. They are definitely connected to the Rashomon area of the Cold Lands. That I know for sure. Details, it's confusing. I know this is the half-faced demon, but that's not much to go off of.
But what does the city under the dome represent? I know it matches the sword here I found deep within the mines.
I know that this has something to do with the Underdark. The tales I was told, the fortress was overrun by Underdark creatures. But City Under the Dome, I have no
Bruno
idea.
kind of walks over and listens to you guys talk about this Fortress of the Half Demon, the City Under the Dome, and whatnot. He's starting to look at all these symbols as well. And he looks up at those markings of the mountain peaks. Leave it to the dwarf to figure this one out. That appears to be the skyline of the Ice Rim Mountains.
The mountains to the north.
That's why they call them the Ice Rim
north.
Mountains. Full of ice, full of death. No man can stay there for a winter.
Tell me more about these mountains.
It's
me
a
more
cold,
about these mountains.
bleak place to go, my friends. There's good gems and good gold to be found in those mountains, but it's hard pressed to find a dwarf that can spend more than just a few months in the summer months up there. That place is plagued with ice trolls and stone giants and storm giants and who knows what else is up there. It's a death trap for many a miner that's gone up there to try to make themselves rich.
And you say that it's north of here. And you say that it's north
Yeah,
of
we switch to the map
here.
again. I'll show you guys.
Northeast, really. Not directly north, but... Northeast, really. Not directly north, but... Has anyone actually... a ways. It would be a travel to get there. Has anyone actually, like, touched
guys
the
tell me.
structure yet?
Tegan examines it and looks at where is the mountain on. Tegan examines it and looks at where is the mountain on the structure in relation to the demon icon.
The mount. Okay, you're asking out of the character. So the Ice Rim Mountains are here. That Fortress of the Half Demon is here. You guys are located here.
Yeah, but on the structure, where are those symbols at relation? Yeah, but on the structure,
okay, I'm
where are
with you.
those
So the demon
symbols at
face is
relation to
first.
each other?
Then comes the mountain peaks. Then comes the city under a dome. Then the merfolk. And then the circle of trees.
What was the last one, sorry?
Circle of
What
trees.
was the what was the last one, sorry? You're kind of cutting out.
A circle
You're
of
kind of
trees.
cutting out.
It's a circle of trees.
Yeah, sorry, you're cutting out. I can barely
He said
hear you.
a circle of trees.
Yeah, sorry, you're cutting out. I can barely
He
hear
said
you.
a circle of trees.
Am I cutting out for anybody else, or is it
Oh,
just
okay,
Porto?
okay.
I think it's just Porto.
I can hear you fine.
I think it's
It's
just
not fine.
Porto.
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Tegan, I think you have something going here. This could be some sort of. Tegan, I think you have something going here. This could be some sort of map, or at least instructions to get somewhere. A direction, if I may. North, maybe. If we start here and then move towards the mountains, maybe the city under a dome is further, and then something about merfolk. I'm not 100% sure what this is trying to say.
I believe these.
If it's directions, it's a dangerous path. That's not an area to be traveled lightly.
I believe that these are locations that the portal can bring us to. I'm assuming there are other portals connected to this one, and they are in these locations.
Porto, are you under the impression this is a magical object?
What else would it be? Why, yes. What else would it be?
At that point, Reynolds casts Detect Magic on the structure.
From what you can tell, I mean, it's not emitting magic aura at this point, but there is definitely some kind of magical origin about it. Does that make sense? It's basically not active, but it's like a dormant magic.
This is very old. It's not active. This is very old. It's not active though. We need to. If you were to use this, you'd have to trigger and awaken it somehow.
I think I might have an idea how to do that. It might not work,
I think this might be.
but we'll see.
I think this might be something we want to talk about, not necessarily just rush right in.
Sorry, I could not hear you. You were cutting out. Sorry, I could not hear you. You were cutting out.
Try typing it, Renault.
Well, I was planning on figuring out how this. Well, I was planning on figuring out how this gem would react with the portal. I believe this gem might activate it. I believe this gem might activate it.
Do we know where it
picking where to
leads?
go, let's not go with the merfolk.
Do we know where it
picking where to
leads?
go, let's not go with the merfolk. Don't fancy swimming
For all we know, it could take
today.
us into their base underwater. For all we know, it could take us into their base underwater.
Just 1 second, guys. I'm going to tell Porto to turn off his receiving and sending audio in Roll20. See if that helps.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, anybody that's... You still got check to make sure you don't... Yeah, anybody that's... You still got check to make sure you don't have your receiver sending turned back off in Roll20 where we had trouble last week with TeamSpeak.
Alright, so I apologize, guys. You guys were saying something you're going to do next, and I was reading Porto's chat. So what are you guys doing next?
We were kind of discussing whether we wanted to go in here in the first place or not. We were kind of discussing whether we wanted to go in here in the first place or not. Seems like a dangerous path, but at the same time, it's kind
But
of,
I remind you, friends,
you
we
know,
also
fate
have
and why we're here.
in the past. But I remind you, friends, we also have friends waiting in the past with the damaged vessel that can't travel without us.
We
Yes,
gave
this
them
doesn't
the
seem
supplies,
like an
right?
urgent matter. It seems like something we might be able to follow up when we're more ready.
Locate Nivek and gather. I agree. We should at least try and locate Nivek and gather up the rest of our crew before going in here.
Alright, how's that, Porto? Am I still breaking up, or can you hear me okay now?
Yeah, things are okay. It happens randomly. Yeah, things are okay. It happens randomly.
Okay.
I don't know why.
All right. So as you guys are discussing about whether or not you do or don't want to try to figure out how to activate this engine, you guys see Bruno kind of walk into this side room over here. That's number 5, and he kind of walks in and says, "Hey, what you been doing here, Porto? It's like you're trying to build a skeleton or something."
Oh, those? Yeah, I'm trying to organize the bones. Oh, those? Yeah, I'm trying to organize the bones and make out what kind of uh, races these individuals were.
What bones? Bones? What bones?
Oh, the pile of bones.
Bruno
Over
kind of
there,
steps over
skeletons.
the half, I guess, organized skeleton you're creating, picks up the skull and kind of rattles it, shakes it up near his ear, see if he can hear anything inside of it. Says, "Nope, this one's empty."
No, don't disorganize this. I worked hard on that. No, don't disorganize it. I worked hard on that.
When Tegan and Storm walk in the room, Storm lunches forward and take a snow. Leave it. Leave it. But
Yeah,
Storm
this room's
doesn't
kind of
listen.
filled with
Starts
bones
knocking
all
on
along the perimeter, except for the one that's crying right in the center. That looks like it's been neatly organized and tried to put back together to make some kind of a skeletal remains. Bruno kind of walks over to Storm and hands him one of the leg bones that are along the perimeter. Says, "Here, this one's okay. I don't think Boss Man will get mad about this one." He tosses the leg bone to Storm.
Storm's tail wags and looks up at Tegan like, "Can I?" Storm's tail wags and he looks up at Tegan like, "Can I? Can I? Yes." Enjoy.
Alright.
I want to take a look at the bones to see if I recognize.
Alright.
I want to take a look at the bones to see if I recognize anything spectacular.
What exactly are you trying
sticks
to?
out of me.
You're just looking for something
See
odd?
if I recognize the race or anything that sticks out to me. See if I recognize the race or anything that sticks out to me.
Damn you and your 20.
Bam.
I never roll
Alright,
a
so
around.
as you start looking at this structure of this skeleton, it looks almost like a perfect match for those 2 things you guys dispatched next to the road that little girl and her brother changed into. Still not sure what they are, but it looks like it's the exact same size and type of bone structure that you saw in those things you defeated.
Corin, Holland, come here a second. Corin, Holland, come here a second. That kind of looked like the
What's up?
froggy things we fought. That kind of looked like the froggy things we fought.
Believe it does. I believe it does. This is probably a good time to mention. While I was unconscious, I had some visions. I saw numerous types of these things coming in and out of mirrors. I saw numerous different mirrors, and it looked like they all led to different areas, and different types of these things were coming in and out of them.
I wouldn't read too much into it. You may have just hit your head too hard. I wouldn't read too much into it. You may have just hit your head too hard.
I'm not too sure about that. Dreams tend to let in some insight that our subconscious is trying to give us, so it could be
Probably a
useful
message from my
information.
patron.
Perhaps that too, but at any rate, these things look like that bullywug looking thing we fought, and I didn't much care for those.
Does Porto hear this?
I'm not being quiet, so
Yeah, I'll rule you can hear him.
I'm standing in the doorway. So are you. Porto,
Yes.
do you know what Porto remains belong to?
Yes.
Do you know
I was
what
in the
these
process of
remains belong to?
I was in the process of figuring it out.
We encounter something similar. It be the same being. It was, well, for lack of a better term, frog-like.
I recall.
Also
I
has
recall-
ability to shift shapes.
I recall someone mentioning this. Was it you, Renault? Was it you, Renault?
You recall him mentioning what?
Renault. Renault. I don't know. I recall someone talking about the frog creatures last session.
Yeah, Renault doesn't know. I have
It
no
had to
idea
been
what
Tegan.
that's about.
Because we're not
Yeah,
with
Renault
us.
doesn't know. I have no idea what that's about.
So they're here too. We know that they're all over the cold lands. So they're here too, and we know that they're all over the cold lands. Or well, at least the parts we've traveled in. I wonder what they are.
Bur-
God Bullywug's too big for that and too smart.
Bruinor kind
Well,
of
they're
chimes
certainly
in
not
and
good.
says, well, these bones have been here for centuries, so whatever you guys saw, that they're obviously not connected because these have been long dead.
Not connected, but related, and I'd like to know what they are. Not connected, but related, and I'd like to know what they are. They tend to masquerade as little girls and trap people.
Perhaps at one point, these frog creatures lived within this mine.
Or if Friend Porto's idea is correct, perhaps they came through the portal.
That could also be a possibility.
I guess.
Bruinor pipes up and says, I
Anyway,
don't know about
we
this
should look
portal
into it later,
stuff, but all I know
I
is
guess.
them skulls there, they had some pretty nice gems inside of them.
Gems.
Yeah, strangest thing is when
Gems.
we first found this place, me and my brothers,
found-
we were trying to find something of value in here and came across all these old bones and stuff, and as we were picking up a few of them, one of the skulls dropped and cracked open, and there was a freaking gem inside of it. So the rest of us kind of kept smashing them all up, and that's where I got my gem. Portal's got it now. I sold it to him.
The gem
Yes.
you sold to Porto came from inside of one of these. The gem you
Yes.
sold to Porto came from inside
Yeah,
of one
strange,
of
isn't
these
it?
skulls. So that's why you were shaking.
Yeah,
So that's
I
why you were shaking.
Like I said, all of them got
this moment
smashed
ago.
up. I'm not sure where that one came from.
That's interesting. And Porto, what do you believe you the relationship? That's interesting. And Porto, what do you believe you the relationship of this gem to the portal is?
I believe it is somehow connected to it. It feels like it is drawn, not physically or magically, but through some means. And it feels like it's just pulling closer, almost as if it's attracted by some force.
Well, I say maybe perhaps we should return the spears and the items. Well, I say maybe perhaps we should return the spears and the items to the ship. While our friends travel on the way, maybe we should come back and investigate this further.
I would definitely appreciate that, especially having learned that it is a gateway to the fortress of the Underdark.
But last week we have a contract to fulfill. We do believe we have materials to deliver to a city. Or retrieve from a city. Aren't we working for the town? Or retrieve from a city? Aren't we working for the town? I don't know. I don't deal much with money and things like that. I prefer to be in the wilds.
You asking? I say, you asking me? Or you asking the group?
I'm reading through my notes.
Sorry,
The group in general.
Sorry, you're cutting out again. What about the group?
The group in general.
What about the group?
I was asking the group if they remember taking something to a city or picking something up or why we were going to the other city in the ship to begin with.
I believe it was something for an evac. I believe it was something for an evac.
You guys want me to share out of character? You guys having trouble remembering, or?
Weren't we tasked?
Yeah, so your task that,
Yeah, I'm
was
having
put upon you by
trouble
Navek and King Yarn Frostmantle was to travel to Bildubaris to basically demand them to provide supplies and reinforcements and food to Helgabal to help with the influx of refugees that have been flooding to the city since the Centaur attacks.
Is that number 1 in the potential quest? Is that number
I'm
1
sorry,
in
say
the
again?
potential quest? Is number 1 in the potential quests? Is that number 1 in
Oh,
the
let me look.
potential quests tab?
I forgot all about that. Oh yes, there it is. That,
Feel bad, I forgot about it too.
I haven't been filling that out now, so I probably need to update that
Don't
tonight.
feel bad, I forgot about it too.
So yeah, for those of you that are new, there's a journal on the right side. If you go to journals, that's the basically the third icon from the left, or in the chat box, called potential quests. They kind of should tell you through either the ones that are still open, maybe a few of them you guys have already wrapped up at this point. But yeah, that number 1 is that's what started everyone on this journey across the long road. Bruno kind of steps back in to the room here again, starts digging around some of the other bones and stuff. Says, Porto, was there any skulls left in here? Wouldn't mind taking one of those back since I no longer have a gem.
Well, if all of those bones are if all of those bones are of the same creature, then I believe feel free to look for more gems or
Oh no, don't get me wrong, there's no
anything
gems
else
left in here.
that
We already
might
picked this
find
thing
value.
dry. I just want to bring one of these skulls home as a souvenir.
Oh, then go right ahead.
Can I take this one good one that you found?
Then go right ahead. Of course.
He picks up the skull, shakes it one more
Of
time
course.
just to make sure, and stuffs it back into his backpack. Steps back out.
I'm sorry, but you said that you're on some sort of mission contract with something regarding refugees and the centaurs. And I'm asking this in character.
Sorry, what? I'm sorry, what?
Porto is asking about the mission that you guys are on regarding refugees and centaurs. Unless if you didn't say that out loud, then
No, it's fine.
never
We
mind.
don't really know too much about the centaurs yet. No, it's fine. We don't really know too much about the centaurs yet, but there's been a lot of refugees coming in from the attacks up north. I mean, we know that they were attacking up north for some reason, and they haven't before, but there's also this plague that's going on in town. So we need supplies, and like I said, there's just a lot of people coming in as well.
I'm telling you, that was a centaur leg found in the past. Oh wait, you weren't awake for that.
A centaur?
While you were sleeping, well, we found the remains of what I'm pretty sure is a centaur. At least the leg of one.
Out of character, don't I have experience with centaurs? Out of character, don't I have experience with centaurs? Scout for a while. From being,
As I recall from your
Scout for a
backstory,
while,
I think
Brian.
you were involved with a small village that was raided by them, correct?
Yeah. So let me take a look. I've seen centaurs before, actually. So let me take a look. I've seen centaurs before, actually.
I didn't bring the thing with me. It was disgusting. I left
Well,
it in the
where
snow by
is
the
it?
ship.
I'll take a look when we head back. It's by the ship. All right. Well, I'll take a look when we head back. If we can find it.
Yeah. It was a detached leg. You expect me to carry that around? What kind of strange people are you?
Nah, I thought you found it in this cave.
No, I found it at the ship while I was rushing to
Yes, yes.
the
everyone was
ship.
fine.
Were they okay when you left?
Yes, yes, everyone was fine.
I think it might be a good idea to back there, not to rush anyone, but I think it
Good.
might be a good idea to back there, not to rush anyone, but the circumstances we left them in were not very great.
Agreed. And our friend Porto here is more than safe in this mine, sir. Welcome to travel with us if you'd want, I would assume.
I believe I have gotten everything that I believe I have gotten everything that I've needed out of this little trope, I guess. I'm satisfied with my cure.
Could I see the gym for a second? No, can I touch it?
You may observe it, yes.
No, can I touch
Hey
it?
now.
Sorry, it cut out on me. Sorry,
No, can I touch it?
it cut out on me.
No, can I touch it? I extend my hand
If you must.
out from the gym. I extend my hand out from the gym.
Yeah, sorry guys, I don't know why TeamSpeak is lagging for me. Yeah, sorry guys, I don't know why
Anybody else having
TeamSpeak
issues?
is lagging for me.
Nope, I'm good on my end.
Yeah, it's been good for me.
Nope, I'm good on my end.
Yeah,
Do
it's
you have
been
any
good
advice
me.
for him?
Yep, same.
Off the top of my head, no. I'll look into it though. Off the top of my
I
head,
mean, I don't
no,
think it's
I'll
anything
look
on your
into it,
server
though.
end. I think it's got to be something on Porto's end.
Yeah, I think it's a setting somewhere that's causing the lag. I'm not sure what. Yeah, I think it's a setting somewhere that's causing the lag. I'm not sure what.
Do you guys want to try to switch over to the Roll20 to see if that helps?
It's
Yeah.
fine. It's fine. It's
Yeah.
fine. It's fine. Sometimes it gets. I honestly don't mind. It's just sometimes it gets like it cuts out.
All right. So did you let Tegan hold the gem?
Yes.
Tegan walks over and lays the gem on the portal.
Yes.
You
Tegan
lay it
walks over
on
and
the
lays the
portal.
gem on the portal.
Be more descriptive,
Yes.
please.
Just lay it down on top of the portal. Yes. I just lay it down on top
Like
of the
on
portal.
the top of the arch, like on the floor. What do you mean?
On the top of the arch, yeah.
Okay. You place the gem
on
on
the top of the
and
arch, yeah.
now you got a little archway there with a gem sitting on top of it.
Oh well. Sit it back up and hands it back to Porto. Oh well.
Thank you.
Sit it back up and hands it back to Porto.
Thank you. Were you trying to activate portal?
I wasn't sure
Were you
what
trying
would
to
Ronald-
activate portal?
happen. The right thing to do at the moment. I wasn't sure what would happen, but it seemed like
Portal,
the right
based
thing
on the
to do at
research you've done
moment.
up to this point, you believe this thing is no longer functioning just because of the sorry shape it's in. Like I said, big portions of the oval are either broken, big chunks of it are missing. So you think this thing is pretty much beyond repair. You're not sure if this room at one point, well, obviously this room at one point had some kind of earthquake or something based on the condition of the other rooms that are adjoining it from the cave-ins and whatnot. But this room floor was relatively clean from debris, so you're not quite sure if this part had a cave-in. They cleaned it out, but from your understanding so far, this portal, if that's what you believe it to be, is no longer functioning.
Yeah, I also forgot that it's basically. Yeah, I also forgot that it's basically broken. Like it isn't a complete arch. It's kind of cracked or a couple of parts is like
Correct.
crumbled on the
Yeah,
floor.
parts of it are kind of missing off the
So to
face
speak.
and off the back side.
Alright, so in character, I believe it would have. Alright, so in character, I believe it would have worked had it not have been so damaged.
It might have worked if it did. Yeah, well, worth a shot. Who knows?
All right, real
It
quick,
might have
out
worked
of
if it did.
character,
We may have learned
for
something.
Porto, I can't remember if I told you or if we discussed or I emailed how you found that last intact skeleton piece? I mean, one that wasn't ransacked by the dwarves?
Yeah, no, we didn't really talk about it.
Okay, I apologize for that.
Yeah, no, we
So
didn't
let me fill
really
you in
talk
here.
about it.
So during your research, again, you saw these symbols along there, and back in this room number 2, this right here used to be a solid wall, and you found one or two of those symbols, the city under the dome symbol, located on this wall. And as you were inspecting that, you saw there was a secret door. You opened it up, and you found that intact skeleton basically sitting there on a decrepit, old, rotten, almost like a throne, with some leftovers of some crude markings along the wall inside here.
Okay.
So I will go further if you want
Okay.
to share what you saw on those walls in there. Otherwise, I'll send it to you in an email.
Yes, I would share it. Yes. Yes, I
So
would
you
share it
explained to
with
the party basically along the walls inside this little closet room or whatever, you saw a series. Again, the walls were parts of them were crumbling away, so you didn't quite get everything. But you saw several, I guess, pictograms, whatever you want to call it, of what looked like similar to this strange structure, this portal structure, with these strange-looking toad creatures standing in front of them. One of the pictures shows one of the strange creatures with some kind of a staff pointed out towards the portal, with more of the toad creatures appearing to come walking out of one of them. Sorry, guy, I totally screwed that up. I thought I shared that over with Porto, and I was waiting for him to kind of see if he was going to share that with everybody.
Yes, sorry. Yes, sorry. Okay then. So, in one of these pictures, it depicts a staff. Does it have
Based
a
on the
gem
condition
on
of
it by any
the
chance?
markings on the wall, you can't tell. It's a rather crude type of drawing.
Ah. Ah. And anything else about the skeleton? And anything else about the skeleton? Are there any? Is there anything on the skeleton? Or anything else near the throne?
And once you
Like
touch like the
chair,
chair or throne
like
or
I'm
whatever it was, it
assuming?
pretty much crumbled to the ground. It looks like it used to have some kind of clothing or something on it, but it's been in there for so long that almost everything crumbled to the touch.
Well. So I believe these portals are connected to. So I believe these portals are connected to the origin of these frog-like creatures.
Renault, as you look down that corridor, you just see like part of it's been like caved in, and you can see an archway a little bit further down the corridor. From what you can make out through inside the doorway, it looks like part of that room has also been caved in.
Ronald's gonna look at the whole hallway. Ronald's gonna look at the whole hallway. Like he kind of wants to scan on the ceiling too, because he's kind of scared of the slime
Give me
creatures that they ran into earlier.
Give me a perception check. You don't seem to notice anything out of the ordinary.
Alright, he's gonna kind of walk down this hallway and see if... Alright, he's gonna kind of walk down this hallway and see if... I guess because it's caved in, he can't really see around into that last room, so he's gonna kind of get as close as he can and peek in, while kind of light-footing around so he doesn't trigger anything he would assume to be like a cave-in.
So as you go deeper into the this corridor, you can see large cracks and upon the ceiling and upon the walls. As you kind of make your way through the archway, you can see like little remnants of dust kind of falling and settling through the cracks in the ceiling. But as you poke your head inside that room, it appears to be just another empty room that's been partially caved in.
Alright, Reynolds will back out slowly. Just kind of go back to the main. Alright, Reynolds will back out slowly. Just kind of go back to the main room.
Okay, what's everybody else doing at this point?
Tiggett's been following Porto listening to the information about where he found them. Tiggett's been following Porto listening to the information about where he found the bones and all that. Perhaps we might locate more of these creatures in the wilds and ask them directly themselves. They seem to speak.
But are they friendly creatures?
Well, the ones we
But are they friendly creatures?
well, the ones we encountered weren't. Maybe they were having a bad day.
Seems rather optimistic.
Well,
Seems rather optimistic.
well, they did have a bad day, as I recall. They died and we did not.
Porto would continue to investigate this room regarding the city under the dome sigil, and try to make some sort of relevance out of it.
Give me a history check.
Oh, I hope I roll high. Oh, I hope I roll high.
If you had been advantage, it would have been a high roll. Well,
This other door, Porto, where does it go? The one on down the
Yeah.
This other door, Porto, where does it go? The one on down the passageway.
Which one?
The one on this way.
that's where you guys came in.
Aye.
Ah, okay. Never mind, it's the one we
Aye.
came in. Ah, okay. Never mind, it's the one we came in. Indoors, it's the outdoors where I'm better. Told you, I'm not good indoors, it's the outdoors where I'm better.
The dwarf's kind of behind you, laughing a little bit. Great tracker, huh?
Well, Porto wants to make sense of the city. Well, Porto wants to make sense of the city under the dome. So
Yeah, based on your history check there, you don't recognize anything else that comes to your knowledge or your background, your studies.
Porto asks the party if they know anything about this the mark, and I show it to them.
Okay, who else is going to go in there and look at it?
Black.
Reynolds will go in there.
Well, actually,
Reynolds will go in there.
I guess Roland will kind of take a look from behind. I guess Roland will kind of take a look from
Okay.
behind.
All right, so here's what I
Tiggy
want. I
does
want
well.
who has the best history bonus?
I have +5. I have
Anybody else have-
+5.
Bonus.
Yeah, I don't have a bonus
I don't have a bonus.
Okay.
either. Yeah, I don't have a bonus either.
All right, so roll it again,
I'm
and
a
I'll give you
tracker, not a
advantage since
historian.
everyone's kind of helping you look at it. Whoever had the +5.
Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry. So, 18.
And you're trying to figure out.
18.
Tell me again what exactly you're trying to figure out.
I'm trying to figure out relevance. If I can. I'm trying to figure out relevance. If I can recall anything regarding a city under a dome, and considering that this room has pictures of frog-like creatures.
Okay, so
I'm
you
just
can
trying to make
see
sense of it all.
on the few markings that are still on the wall that each one of those portals you see where the creatures are walking in and out, you also see a crude symbol of a couple of those things on the strange structure as well, right over the top of one of the portals on the markings on the wall. One of them is the city in under a dome. You also see one of the circle of trees, and the rest of the markings are just too old and faded for you to figure out what exactly is marked above them.
Oh, okay, so it's just the same marks on the portal. Oh, okay, so it's just the same marks the marks on the portal. In this room, they're the same ones. Like the marks here in this room.
Correct.
They're the same ones.
Yeah, but you don't see all of them over every one of the portals. Like one
like
portal
crude light.
shows these guys walking out, and right above it is a symbol of that city under the dome. Over another wall, you see another depiction of the guy holding the staff up, and people walking out of this portal. Right above that portal, you see the symbol of the circle of trees.
Let me see if I can recall anything regarding the circle of trees. Let me see if I can recall anything regarding the circle of trees.
All right, this will
roll another history.
Yeah, this will be your last history check because you've been studying this for a while.
Do I roll another
So one more history check to see if you figure out the circle of trees. Look at you.
Nice.
Okay, your recollection of this
Nice.
symbol, you believe it's a very old symbol that was used by the Druids, circle of Leth within the Rollinwood, or now called the Forest of Lethier. 1 second, I'll switch to the map. Here's the Forest of Lethier.
And think about place called Rollinwood.
Rollinwood
place
is
called
the old
Rollinwood?
name of the Forest of Lethier.
Or is that the forest?
That was before the Druids of the Circle of Leth pretty much took over this forest. Shouldn't say took over. They took. They now protect that one. That's like their sacred forest.
Okay. Okay then. Okay. Okay then. So that makes. Alright, so the only thing that I don't know about the marks is the merfolk and the city under the dome thing. Okay then.
Alright, and that's going to be it for your history checks at this point. You guys have had plenty of chances, and you're going to have to figure the rest of it out somehow.
Let's get can check on Nimba. We've been gone quite some time. Let's get can check on Nimba. We've been gone quite some time now.
Alright, so you guys are going to head back to the
I agree.
main, I guess, area, the forage area.
It's Tegan's intention.
Yes, Porto is satisfied with the information.
It's Tegan's intention.
Yes, Porto is satisfied with the information he or in this part of the mine. There's nothing else left for him to do
Alright, so
in this
Bruno
room,
kind of takes the lead with you
or in this
guys.
part of the mine.
Says, alright, follow me. Stay on the stable
Goes back to
path.
the
Stay away from the
forge.
unstable. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
Kind of leads you down a series of reinforced tunnels. You guys can see a couple of chutes off to the one side or the other of some unstable mines. From the distance of what you can see down there, you can see signs of potential recent cave-ins or old cave-ins, but you can obviously see where the supporting structure has either not been put in place or has fallen down in the other areas. Alright, so as you guys come back in, you can see Olimar over here on the ground, laying face down in a big pool of something. You're not quite sure. Smells a little bit over there. And you see Nimba walking out from down the stairs along with Disa, and they've got one of the mine carts filled up with 4 glass spheres. Ah, just in time, guys. I think I got them all done here. They appear to come out pretty good. I'm not sure if they're as sturdy as my original design, but I think they'll do just fine.
If you
Well, I
think
can only
they'll work
fit
for
4 in
Nimba,
here.
but
The
I
other
thought
2
you
are
said
still
you were
back
going
in
to
the
make
forge room.
6.
You didn't expect me to carry all of them, did you?
Ah, okay. Well, actually, I expected Olimar to carry them.
Well,
Well,
as you
actually, I
can see,
expected
I think
Olimar to
Olimar
carry
found
them.
a little bit too much leftover ale. He's been passed out over there in the corner for at least a half an hour.
Ah, well, see. Oh. Ah, how are we going to get this back to the ship? I see. Oh, how are we going to get these back
you guys
to the
would
ship?
carry.
There were some wagons outside.
There are mine carts.
The mine carts will only get us as far as the front of the mine. Unless
Well,
you plan to lay rail from here to the ship.
They're quite heavy for me, but I'm sure someone your size wouldn't have a problem carrying one of them.
They might help.
It's not the weight, Nimba. I'm more concerned about them breaking. It's
Well,
not the
just
weight,
don't fall
Nimba.
down.
I'm more
Don't
concerned about
drop
them
'em.
breaking. Yes. That would work except for it's yes. That would work except for it's snowing and there's ice. And well, some of us, he looks over at Olimar, exactly the most
Olimar just kind
graceful
of mumbles
people in the
something over
world.
there, and you hear a loud burp, followed by a fart.
Perhaps we could borrow your wagon from Porto? As far as the ship? Perhaps we could borrow your wagon from Porto, at least as far as the ship?
Yes, of course. I'll gladly provide my wagon for
One other question.
your orbs.
Thank you. One other question. Do you have much hay that you're feeding your horses?
You guys will have stores of hay here in this on these main rooms in here for the horses for your duration of at least a few weeks. How long you're going to stay here for your research?
Yeah, of course.
Perhaps we could borrow some of that.
Yeah, of course.
Perhaps we could borrow some of that as well to pack these in so that they won't break. They are quite fragile.
I understand.
Of course,
I
you can have
understand.
the hay back once we return to our vessel.
Well, in that case, I don't see why not.
See about transporting these up safely and getting them packed. Very well, then let's see about transporting these up safely and getting them packed away, Nimba.
Okay. I'm okay with that.
And someone wake up Olimar in time to fix his dinner. Okay, and someone wake up Olimar in time to fix his dinner.
Disa kind of giggles.
We did bring me along to
Walks over
cook
kinda
after
towards
all.
Olimar and Olimar! He kind of kicks him in the ribs a little bit. Olimar just kind of, and he rolls over on his backside, burps again. His eyes are still shut. I'm not
suppose we could leave him, Nimba.
I'm not going to leave Olimar.
I suppose we could leave him,
He
Nimba.
just likes to partake in a little ale every once in a while. No harm in that. Just let's give him a little bit of time to kind of wear it off. And worst case scenario, we'll throw him down these mine carts and we'll wheel him up at least to the entrance.
Very well, if we must. It can be rather noisy, though. Very well, if we must.
Well, I guess
It can be rather noisy, though.
he is passed out.
This is
So
why I avoid
hopefully
the human
that'll
ale.
help out with the noise. As long as he doesn't burp or fart.
Well, he's even
Everybody kinda
noisy
gives a little
without
chuckle
listening
on
at
that.
it.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. He's there for my comic relief sometimes too, you know.
Yeah, well, very well. Let's get things away. Yeah, well, very well. Let's get things away. Get the other two spears. Tegan heads into pack to get the other two spears packed into a
Okay,
cart
so
so they can
before
get
we
them moved
start
to the
packing
main
up
entrance.
the wagon up top, does anybody else want to do anything else in here? Did I forget push to talk? Did you guys hear that?
No, we heard it.
And everything got
No, we heard it.
You heard it. And everything got explored down at the bottom of the map, right?
Yeah, we checked out all those rooms like 4 and 6 and 7 and stuff. Yeah, we checked out all those rooms like 4 and 6 and 7 and stuff.
Yeah, they would have shared with you. Like 6 was
Okay.
a temple
Yeah, I'm fine
to
leaving
a
them.
dwarven god. 4 was like the old barracks where the miners would basically sleep and rest. That was the forage room. This was a large banquet hall with a big stove right in the middle of it, and there was a gaming table in one corner, a bunch of tapestries and markings on the wall.
So Porto asks. So now that you have your equipment, your ship repaired, where are you all off to from here?
Nimba kind of looks around all you guys. Well, I thought we were heading to Bill DeBaris. Is that what you guys said?
Yes, Bill bought us to negotiate or to work on getting food. Yes, Bill bought us to negotiate or to work on getting food for Hilgwa, along with resources
That
to
Bruno
fight the centaurs.
kind of pipes up. Well, I'm not going to help. I'm not going to Bill DeBaris. We'll help you unload these glass sphere things, and then we're heading back.
If it might not trouble you, perhaps I might. If it might not trouble you, perhaps I might tag along with you folk. After having researched the portal and many relevant things regarding to it, I believe that I'll have to travel to one of these locations at some point.
I'd be more than happy to guide you to one of those locations from Porto. Once we finish our dealings with Bill DeBaris.
Well, in that case,
Well, it's not my party.
consider me a member of your party.
Well, it's not my party. It's Roland's party than mine, or Cornyn's. They only hired me to be a guide.
Well, I'm fine with you joining.
More the
I'm fine
merrier.
with you joining.
I just need
Well,
some help
then
getting
it's
Olimar in
settled.
one of these carts, and we can go.
Tigid grumbles and walks over when we get dragging Olimar's cart. Tigid grumbles and walks over when
Olimar
we get
kind of
dragging
grunts a little bit
Olimar's
and kind
cart.
of half-heartedly helps you get him one leg up over the cart, and then he just kind of falls inside of it head first and lets out a big grunt, and then you hear him snoring.
I think maybe I found the replacement pig. I think maybe I found the replacement pig, Nimba. It grunts like one anyway.
Alright, so everybody wanting to head back to the ship now? Using the wagon to pack and transport the spheres that we're doing?
Yeah, Reynolds just wants to ask, it's alright if he comes along with you guys. Yeah, Reynolds just wants to ask, it's alright if he comes along with you guys to build the Baris,
Well,
too.
since your wagon is, well, buried, it might not be a bad idea. Well, since your wagon is, well, buried, it might not be a bad idea, little friend.
I have contacts in the merchants. I think I could be of some use to you there. I have contacts in the merchants in the area. And if you're looking for supplies, I might be of use there.
Greatly appreciated. Any help to alleviate the problem would be greatly appreciated.
Tigid, I recall you mentioning something about druids earlier.
Yes, looks around kind of cautiously.
I was just interested in whereabouts are these group of druids that you were looking for.
Well, in particular, I'm looking for some of the druids from the Circle of Leth. But their exact location, well, the druids, they tend to move around quite a bit. Perhaps we might get lucky to find a druid who tends to a small flock in one of the small villages nearby.
That
That'd be
Niso
quite fortunate.
kind of pipe up the old dwarf says, "You're not gonna find druids in the city. You gotta go. They live out in the woods, out in the grassland. They don't go in their cities."
Tiggy kind of chuckles. Sometimes they do, my friend. Tiggy kind of chuckles. Sometimes they do, my friend. But not often. You're all right.
Perhaps some might be in the forest of Lethler.
It would be likely. But again, they might not be easy to find.
But we shall queer folk that like to live in the forest. Give me my mountain home any day.
Did I overhear you? Did I ever hear you saying you're going to?
Give me the open sky and the trees.
Did I ever hear you saying you're going to the forest of Lether? Well, my friends,
Perhaps might be a possibility.
South of there. I know Telefin. Well, my friends, I'm from Thesk. I'm just south of there. I know Telefin very well, my hometown. I could definitely help you out in that area.
Well, then you're definitely the man to take along with us. Well, then you're definitely the man to take along with us.
Get these carts moving and head back to the ship. Sounds like a plan. How about we get these carts moving and head back to the ship then?
Works for me. He starts shoving a cart, one with Aldemar in it.
Yes, Porto also helps packing up and gets his things gathered.
I'll go and switch you guys back to the ship at that point, unless you guys do anything else in here. You guys are done?
Yep.
I think we're good.
Yep.
I think we're
Give me
good.
a second to put you guys back in here. Alright, so go ahead and place you guys wherever you want on the ship at this point. As you guys approach the ship, you can see Kishin and Ramor along the outside of the on the bottom part of the hull, kind of clearing out some of the debris and starting to kind of dig out a little bit. You can see Kishin has fashioned a couple of bracer timbers up on the ship so that if and when you guys finally do dig it out from all the debris, that the ship won't fall over on its side, seeing as how the wheels have now been pretty much demolished at this point. He's cleared out some openings underneath where the spheres go, but the rest of the hull is still kind of sitting on quite a bit of mountain of snow and other debris.
How loose is the snow around the ship? How
It's packed
loose
pretty tight.
is the snow around the ship? Okay.
Slow and steady, sir.
Kishin,
Slow and steady.
repairs the repairs.
I should have her done probably by, if I work all night, I should have her clear out by morning. I see you've got the spheres there, so I'll get cracking on those as soon as possible. You guys can help with the digging out. I think my reinforcements here will keep her upright until we get the spheres back on her.
Very well. Do we have any tools? Or are we digging by hand? Very well. Do we have any tools?
He points to several shovels.
Or are we digging
He's
by
already
hand?
got kind of stuck in different spots along the hole where they kind of worked at digging out where the spheres were.
Tiggy goes over and finds a shovel and starts digging. Storm watches from a distance. Tiggy goes over and finds a shovel and starts digging.
Run over and grab a shovel.
Storm watches from a distance, curious.
I run over and grab a shovel too.
Not that.
I'll just start
Nimba pipes.
just
No,
blasting away
don't
the-
be doing
the
that.
snow.
We don't want to break anything else. Just
Yes,
slow and steady, my friend. Slow and steady. All right, someone else spoke up.
Fine.
Porto was just going to say how it would be a bad idea, but the
All right, so who's
dwarf
help
already said
digging?
that.
Who's staying on the ship? Kind of help me visualize where everybody is.
Tiggy's digging.
I'm a Tegan digging.
Tiggy's digging.
I'm a Tegan digging.
Storm's watching Tiggy
Okay,
dig.
Portal, you're on the ship.
Yes, on the ship. There's anything. Porto would, yes, on the ship. There's anything to do on ship, he would help out. But regarding shoveling or doing anything, any sort of physical exertion, he wouldn't. He would stay away from doing that.
Roland's gonna be digging, but I'm gonna place my pack blade into, like, kind of put it blade first into the snow, and then
All right, Porto
just start
Romero
digging.
will approach you and ask you if you'd help her raise the new mainsail across the center mast.
Well, of course.
And Nimba comes down below
Well,
and
of
starts
course.
kind of help direct where you guys should be digging. Doesn't really do much work. He's more like, oh no, a little more here, a little less there. Oh, don't forget this. Just being kind of a little bit of a bossy gnome at this point, but not really doing anything.
We're used to it.
And Renault, what are you doing?
He's done his part anyway.
We're used to it.
He's done his part anyway.
Where is like the helm of the ship? Like where's where the steering wheel would be? Because I wanted to start kind of looking at a map and charting out a course to
That'll be where Jimbo is
Bilibaris that
currently
might be a little bit more efficient and safe. Alright, so I'm just gonna kind of hang over here and do that. Alright, so I'm just gonna
Okay.
kind of hang over here
standing.
and
As you guys
do
are
that.
digging, this is going to take you, probably another couple hours to dig everything out complete to the point where Kishin feels safe to go ahead and fire up the spheres again. But you guys see it's snowing off and on, not heavy, but you are seeing like a fog starting to kind of roll in through the mountain pass here as well. As you guys look out across where the pass used to be, the road used to be, you see all kinds of debris, trees and boulders, and it's looking like it's going to be a very tight fit to get through the rest of the pass up here. Nimba spends some time up with Jimba, kind of doing some sign language back and forth and writing on a little parchment back and forth. And Nimba comes back down and says, "Well, Jimba says it's gonna be a little difficult to get through here. We're gonna need everybody's help to kind of raise and furl the sails as need be to make sure we avoid all this debris in the field, to make sure we don't lose another sphere. Okay? So what we're gonna do once we get out of here is I'm gonna put Remora, Kishin, and if Olimar is awake by then, I'm gonna put them in the crow's nest up above, and I'll man each one of you guys at a sail. And as we call out, raise or furl, I need all you guys to help to manage to maneuver the ship around the debris. Can we do that?"
Whatever's needed, Nimba.
Okay.
Whatever's needed,
I'll
Nimba.
explain more to you as we get closer to that. He kind of heads back up to the ship and he starts kind of giving Porto and Remora directions on what they're doing right and what they're doing wrong at this point. Alright, Renault, I need you and Porto to give me a perception check, please. Alright, Portal, through the fog, you seem to see some kind of a shape slowly making its way towards the ship from back over here. You can't quite make out what it is. It appears to be some resemblance of a humanoid form, but with the fog getting thicker and thicker, you really can't quite make out what it is.
So a humanoid shape is in the air?
It's on the ground,
So a
approaching
humanoid shape
the ship.
is in the air?
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Look over there, everyone. Someone's approaching.
Look over there, everyone.
Fog.
Someone's approaching.
Renault, give me
There,
another one at
deep within the
advantage.
fog.
Tegan stops and looks.
I'll look over as well.
Yeah, Renault, you get one at
Do we all
advantage.
roll one?
No, just Renault,
I'll
he's
look over as
closest.
well.
Give him one at advantage.
Do we all roll one?
Renault, from as you squint into the fog, like you're trying to make out exactly what that figure is, you can see some kind of a heavily armored individual limping and walking towards you, bloodied from what you can tell. He's got one arm up. You can almost hear him saying, "Wait, on a labored breath. Wait. Wait for me.
There seems to be a man in armor? He's yelling, wait. There seems to be a man in armor? He's yelling, wait. Tegan, you might want to get over here. I don't know who this is.
Is that Navek? I run over.
Yeah, so as you get closer, next, Warren,
Navek, is that
Warren.
you?
on the ship, we're surrounded. There's centaurs in the pass. They're up above. They're behind me. I barely escaped. Get in the ship now.
What? I run over and get him on my shoulder and run back. What? I run over and get him on my shoulder and run back to the ship
So you
with
help him
him.
back up on the ship. He's obviously bloodied. He's got a couple arrows sticking out of his back at this point. Still has his shield, still has his sword, but he's obviously been chased, been hammered up. His face is all bloodied. Got a couple gashes on his head. Says, I blacked out during the avalanche. I came to just as I saw a couple centaurs coming over the rise. They saw me and have been chasing me ever since. I took a couple down, but there's too many of them.
How many?
I couldn't tell you.
How many?
I just tried to hide. I saw at least a dozen.
Dozen? A herd?
Did you see what they were armed with?
They're all armed with bows, with
Did you see what they were armed
long
with?
swords, with their pikes. I can't tell you that it's not looking good. I have no idea where Emmett and Valar are. Have you seen them?
No, we lost him in the avalanche along with you. Nimba, is this ship ready to sail? No, we lost him in the avalanche along with you.
Nimba looks around.
Nimba, is this ship
No,
ready to sail?
I've only got one of the spheres on. I don't have the rest of them on yet. He hops. Go ahead.
How far, what's his name again? Porto asks, what's his name again? The bloody...
Navek?
Navek, yes. Porto asks Navek, how far,
How far did he fall from here?
like, did he fall from here? Or, well, I guess what Porto wants to know is, how far
He
was
can hardly
Navek when he
recollect.
fell?
Like you said, the avalanche took him and drove him, from what he could tell, several hundred yards, beyond the pass, up against a couple trees. When he came to, he guesstimates he's been staggering towards the ship for at least a half an hour.
Half an hour. So there might be half an hour. So there might be your other allies might be around the area.
I have no idea.
About
All I know
half
is
an hour
I yelled for all
away
of them to
from here.
run. We all kind of went in different directions to try to avoid the avalanche. And last I saw, I was buried under a mountain of snow. I have no idea where Valar and Emmett went, or if they're even still alive.
And we're just going to abandon them.
I never said that.
And we're just going to abandon
Emmett was
them.
like, okay, it's all fine and well, but I heard centaurs. Get your butts down there. Let's get these spheres on now. He hops down off the ship, and I can show you. Just hop down
How
here and
long will it take
I'll
us to
show you
mount this?
exactly. It shouldn't take us more than 15, 20 minutes tops if you just shut up and listen to me.
Navek, how far behind you are those centaurs?
Renal immediately starts helping Nimba with the spears.
Roland is gonna summon the air mythics. Roland is gonna summon the
rise
air
up,
mythics.
almost out of nothing, and stand at your attention, ready to do your bidding.
Yeah, it still startles me
Very
Yeah,
good.
it
Very
still
good.
startles me
Over
every
to the next
time.
one. Now to answer your question about Navek, about how far back were the centaurs. Again, he's still somewhat groggy and dazed. He says, I'm not really sure. Like I said, I've been working my way gradually this way for like at least half an hour, maybe an hour. I'm not sure. He points back this direction.
Which direction?
But I know they're all around. I saw them up high. I saw them on the pass.
Did they spot you?
Several times. He rolls over.
Did
Says,
they
"Where do you
spot
think these
you?"
are from?" Points at the couple arrows sticking in his back.
Roland goes to help Nimba. Or, sorry, Tiga goes to help Nimba. Roland goes to help Nimba.
Rolling around again, I see.
Sorry, Tiga goes to help Nimba.
All right, very good, very good. Last one.
Yep.
Hurry, my friends.
I call out to everybody. Even if you can get the ship moving, is it going to be moving fast enough to get away? I call out to everybody. Even if you can get the ship moving, is it going to be moving fast enough to get away from them?
Nimba pipes up.
Target's
We'll figure that
harder
out
to
when we get up.
still target.
I don't want to be sitting ducks here. You guys finish up the last one, and he hops back up top, and he kind of explained to you guys what needs to happen as far as manning these sails and whatnot. He needs one person mounted on this side of the sail, one person on this side. He needs one person in the front, I believe it's called the aft of the ship. He needs one person to man the I get my sailing terms mixed up. This sail back here. So he needs 4 guys to kind of help steer the ship as Kishin, Remora, and Olimar are still drunk. So Nimba's going to go up in the other mast over here and kind of give shout out directions of when you guys need to raise or furl a sail to help maneuver through this.
Reynolds wants to check out Nivek and do like a medicine check on him just to make sure he's stabilized. Reynolds wants to check out Nivek and do like a medicine check on him just to make
Alright,
sure
go
he's
ahead and roll it.
stabilized and good.
Wisdom? Medicine check?
Wisdom or medicine?
What same thing. Medicine check is in wisdom, but give me a medicine check.
Wisdom or medicine?
Now, for you can tell his wounds are not life-threatening at this point. Again, he's got a couple arrows in his back, but he appears to be able to move around and get okay. He's not in danger of bleeding out.
I point out to the rest of the group. Should the need arise? I point out to the rest of the group. Should the need arise, we might also consider starting another avalanche, but try to target it in a certain location.
I'd like to avoid that if it's possible, but it could be a last case scenario. I'd like to avoid that if it's possible, but it could be a last case scenario.
He's like, Jimbo, let's go. Move.
One
I'll look
avalanche a
over at
week,
Jimbo.
please.
So as you
And
guys finish
he's
up
like, Jimbo,
getting
let's
in
go.
your positions, and
Move.
Jimbo starts firing up his. Well, I guess Jimbo's not firing anything up. He's manning at the station, and Nimba calls out to you. Okay, just ready for my call. You guys see up on the ridge above you guys, roughly 90 to 100 feet up above you guys along this ridge. You see a series of Centaur archers, along with. Do I have this? It's not hidden, right? Do you guys see this?
Yeah, we can see it.
Along with one massive-looking centaur off to one
Yeah, we can
side
see
with
it.
a large horned helm upon it. You can see some other kind of centaur behind with wild hair and some kind of a staff or a pike in her hand, and a dark hooded figure off to one side. This dark hooded figure, you guys can all hear as this one starts laughing, cackling. You think you're going to get away that easily, my friends? Tell you what, give up your friend there. And you see him kind of pull up to one side of him the limp and bloodied body of Valar. Holds him up in one hand. It's kind of strange because this is a small figure in this hooded, holding this full man up by the throat. Says, give us Roland, and we'll let your other man here live. Otherwise, you can all die.
Roland comes out and like, what do you want with me?
Do you not recognize me,
Roland
my
comes out and
child?
like, what do you want with
She
me?
pulls the hood back, and you see the dark-haired girl that you saw in the very first vision you had. Or perhaps you recognize this face. And you see her kind of turn to one side and turn back to you again, and she looks like the young girl that represents Mistra. Is this the salvation you're looking for?
I never sought salvation.
Salvation
never
may not
sought
be what
salvation.
you get, but come with me, and it'll be far better than what happens if you don't. You see each of the centaur archers kind of draw their bows with arrows pointed down upon the ship. Ready to strike, but not yet.
Well, we're not surrendering our friend.
Have you fired
Well,
up
we're
the
not
air methods,
surrendering our
Roland?
friend. What is your cause against us?
I have no desire.
Roland looks over at everyone and says, if it'll spare
Noble
everyone's lives,
choice.
I will go.
Noble choice. Have you fired up the air methods, Roland?
Like, have I put them into the spheres?
Correct.
Like, have I put them into the spheres? Not at this point. I still
Neva's like,
kind
okay,
of had them with me.
Roland, put him in. Put him in. We're not going to give you up. But I'm sorry, Navek, but look at him. He might be dead already.
How far away are they?
Like I said, they're about 90 to 100 feet up,
How far away are they?
60 feet away. So whatever that math is, it's probably like 150 feet, I'll say, straight as an arrow. Like a 45-degree angle up.
Right.
I whispered to the party, we should. I whispered to the party, we should come up with a plan. I'd rather not sacrifice anyone
Navek
today.
pipes in. He's a good man, but I can't ask that of you, Roland. I can't ask you to give up your life for his. He's a man of Kingsguard. He has sworn to protect us. He will die to protect us as well, as I will.
I made that same oath.
Why do they want you?
I made that same oath. And if I have the opportunity to save someone, I can't let that pass.
Roland, you're willing to trade your life.
Might not necessarily be my life. Don't know what they want with me.
We're not even sure.
Might not necessarily be my life. Don't know what they want with me.
We're not even sure if he's alive. For all we know, it could
I
be a
call-
trick.
She
Call
kinda
to the
cackles
figure,
back
give us
at you,
proof
and
that Valar is
She
alive.
grabs him by the throat and shakes him a little bit, and you hear some kind of a groan noise or something come out of Valar, but nothing that you can interpret.
I whispered to. I whispered to. Get ready. I just whispered to the party. How long will
whispered
it
to who?
take to get ready to fly?
You can't whisper to the party. That'd be like yelling. Oh, to Nimba?
Yeah, it's Nimba. He seems to be like the one in charge of. Yeah, it's Nimba.
He wishes
He
back
seems
to
to be
all we
like
need, all we
the
need is
one in charge of
the
the
methods
ship.
to fire up, and we can start moving. It won't be fast, but we can move.
Okay.
The hooded creature pipes up. I am
Okay.
growing impatient. What be your answer? She pulls out a blade, and she holds it up right to the chest of Valar. She still has him held up above her, above the ground, dangling.
Roland Roland's just gonna call out, like, very well, very well. I will come to you,
Walk
but give us Valar.
back towards down the pass. Head down. I'm not walking down to you, and you can't come to me. Off the ship, to your rear.
So over here?
Correct.
So over here? Roland's just gonna start slowly walking over. Roland's just gonna start slowly walking over. As I pass Navek, I'm going to try and just whisper to him, I have a plan. I don't know if it'll work or not, but I'll try to get back Valar as best I can. Just keep an eye out.
Yeah, Corrin's aiming.
He could draw his bow back and take
Who are you
aim.
aiming at?
Yeah, Corrin's aiming his bow too. Just one of the centaurs.
The hooded feature says, drop your
Valar.
bows now.
You have bows drawn on us. I'm not gonna fire unless you do. You have bows drawn on us.
That's not how
I'm not
this
gonna
works, my
fire
friend.
unless you do.
This is your last warning. Drop the bows, or he dies. And I take Roland anyway.
I kind of glance at Tegan. Roland or Corrin also fires at Valar.
Tegan fires at Valar.
Roland or Corrin also
Alright, so
fires
your
at Valar.
arrow finds its mark, hits Valar square in the chest, and you hear this hooded feature just kind of scream, and then drops and throws the body down the hill. You see it kind of crumbling down the cliff there. It says, very well, you've sealed your fate. Fire! Okay, roll initiative.
Oh no. Oh no.
I really figured Valar was dead anyway.
Big 5. Yeah, I was thinking about doing the same thing. Actually.
Oh, wait.
I really figured Valar was dead anyway.
Yeah, I was thinking about doing the same thing actually.
Oh, wait, whoops. I don't know why I did that.
Everybody rolled?
Make sure you have your token.
We can't
I don't know
sacrifice
why I did
Roland.
that.
And make sure you have your token selected before you roll initiative.
Pardon?
Make sure you have your token select before you hit the initiative button. Otherwise, it won't show up on the tracker.
Alright, I did something wrong. I
Oh,
sent you guys
okay.
in here twice. So let me call it out. Tiki, you rolled a 25, is that correct?
Correct.
Renault, would you roll?
Correct.
17. Roland, you got a 13. Porto
17.
got a 12. No, Porto got an 8.
8.
Quarren, would you roll?
8.
5.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I
5.
now. I still can't figure out why it does that. Puts those people in there twice. Okay, let me roll for Navek.
A 0? How's that possible?
No, I haven't put it in there yet.
Oh.
A 0? How's that possible? Oh.
All those arrows that are in it, holding him back. It's all those arrows that are in him, holding him back.
Alright, Tegan. You're up first. Arrows start raining down at this point. But you still get your shot off first.
Closest centaur to me. No. The hag. Closest centaur to me.
The
No,
hooded one?
the hag. Yep.
Okay, what's your range?
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know if you're at long range or you're at normal range at this point. Like I said, 150 feet
longbow?
is what I said, roughly.
Um,
Right, that's at long distance though, right?
Longbow can go 360, so.
Which is at disadvantage.
I got it pulled up.
No,
Yeah.
you can go 600.
Hold on. I got it pulled up.
No, I think it's you can go 600 this range. I'm not sure about.
Hold
I'll
on, I'm
kind of
pulling
look
up
it
right
up.
now.
I'm actually on a
It's
different
150
computer, so I don't
range,
have the PDF.
600 disadvantage.
Alright, so go ahead.
Okay, 150 then would be inside advantage. Would be okay.
So you loose an arrow at this hooded figure up here. As the arrow approaches, you see the hooded creature reach out a hand and bat the arrow out of the way. Just, it's gonna take much more than that to harm me, mere mortal. Okay, Renault, you're up.
Have the air elementals like been put in the spheres or whatever? Have the air elementals like
That's
been
up
put
to-
in the spheres or
Go
whatever?
ahead.
I was. I had a plan for them, so I hadn't put them in the spheres yet, but I will during my turn.
Alright, so Renault kind of like yells out to Nimba and Jimba. He's like, Nimba, Jimba, get ready to
So
move!
I'll just
And
go.
then, how
I'll
far
go
are these guys away
150.
again?
I'll keep it
How far are
150 for
they
all of them.
from us?
160 feet.
Alright, so Renault really can't do
Correct.
anything, but he's gonna... I
And
guess there's like a
Remora's up on the
mast,
cruise
like
deck.
right here. To gain some cover. He's gonna
Okay.
dash behind it to gain some cover. And I will inspire with my bonus action.
Correct.
Inspire Quarn? Is that his name? Quarn?
It's me.
Yeah, I'll inspire him
That's the D8 bonus, right?
with a little ditty on the flute, and then I'll end my turn.
That's the D8 bonus, right?
Yep, you have a
Alright,
D8
so let me
bonus to
count.
like attack
1, 2,
rolls
3,
and stuff like that.
4, 5, 6,
Alright, gotcha.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. How convenient.
Oh, whoops. Oh, whoops. My bad.
Alright, someone gets hit critically.
My
That
bad.
person is Nimba. You guys see arrows flying all over you. One of them lands right into the skull of Nimba, and you see him drop to the floor, dead. Okay. And Quarren, does the 18 hit you?
No, Nimba! Probably. Probably. I might
Take 11 points of piercing damage.
I'm gonna use my reaction. Yeah, it does. Or try to catch, so I'm gonna use my reaction to catch. Or try to catch, so let me... Look how this works. A 1d10 plus my dex plus 5 for my monk level. My dex
11
is
points
currently
of, piercing
4, so...
damage. That's what I rolled.
Alright, so I reduce all of it actually.
Tiga, does a 16 hit you?
Alright, so I reduce all of it actually.
Yes.
Since it got reduced to 0 damage. But I can catch that and actually
Yes.
throw it back
You
now.
throw an arrow 150 feet.
Since it got reduced to 0 damage. I don't know the range of it, to be honest.
What's the skill say? Does it say you can throw anything back, or is it
I
just like
don't
a
know the
normal
range
thrown,
of it, to be honest.
like a hand axe or something like that? That's what I would rule if it doesn't say otherwise.
It's basically a monk weapon when he catches it, and he can throw it.
It's basically a monk weapon when he catches it, and he can throw it. He can use it.
But
It
doesn't
just
say
says I
anything
can
about
throw
the,
it back
range,
on
right?
this same reaction for a ranged attack.
Alright, so I'm gonna rule it. It's got the range of like a...
No. It just says throw it back.
A spear or javelin.
Yeah, that's what I would say. That sounds good. So
A
you're going to be
spear
at
or javelin.
disadvantage then if you're going to try to throw it back to them.
Alright, so that's fine. It's free action anyway, basically.
Actually, I think you use a key point when you throw it back.
Oh
Alright,
really?
so you're not
Yeah, in
throwing it
that
back
case
now.
I'm not gonna do it then. Yeah, that's true. So in the
Okay,
case,
so
I
back
throw
to
it back.
Teagid. 16 hit you?
No, I'm not. I'm just gonna
Okay, you take
catch
10
it.
points of piercing damage.
Yes, 16 hits me.
So all these archers let loose their arrows, and you see this guy on the end here kind of pull up a very large-looking compound crossbow, and you see him aim it directly at Roland. And does a 18 hit you, Roland?
Yes.
You take 12 points of piercing damage, and
Yes.
roll me a con save.
Nice.
Okay, you felt something almost stinging as the arrow hit
Nice.
you. Not quite sure what it was, but you think you were able to avoid some kind of a extra effect from that arrow. Okay, Roland, you're up. Oh, and the hooded creature kind of takes a step back behind the archers.
I guess I'll just command the Ermafits to go into the spheres and start blowing. I guess I'll just command the Ermafits
Alright,
to
so
go
that,
into the
I think
spheres
like
and
the
start
before, that's
blowing.
like a bonus action for you. So if you want to make another action, I'll allow that as well.
Alright, for my action, I'll
You got a range of
just
150, right?
Eldritch Blast the big dude over here. Yes.
Alright, let's see it.
120 feet.
Okay, that's the range, so you're not going to be able to reach him with that.
120 feet. Oh, I thought it was 90 or 100 feet away.
No, 150 feet. It's pretty much this line of archers and centaurs up
Oh, I
there.
thought it was 90 or 100 feet away.
It was like 100 feet up, but they're also, back as well. So say 45
okay.
degrees straight as an arrow will be about 150 feet.
Just take dodge action. Can't do anything.
Alright, so the wind
Just
methods
take
all
dodge action. I can't do
make their
anything.
way into the glass spheres, and you feel the ship kind of rise up immediately as soon as they all get in there, and everyone's like, okay, are we gonna run? Are we gonna run?
Yeah, let's get out of here, Nimba.
Isn't Nimba dead?
Oh yeah, very.
Or yeah. Yeah, let's get out of here,
Wait,
Nimba.
isn't Nimba dead?
Or yeah.
Alright, so that wasn't Nimba you heard.
It's his
That was
ghost.
actually Kishin that was calling out. Okay, guys, let's go. We gotta go. Alright, so Novek is up. He's gonna draw out his bow and try to take a shot at one of these guys, and he misses, but he gets 2 shots, and he misses his second shot as well. Proto, you're up.
Alright.
I'm on mute now. Hi.
Alright. I will cast. Fog Cloud, but I'll use a 3rd level spell slot. Alright, let's see here. And that basically means Fog Cloud, but I'll use a 3rd level spell slot. And that basically means that I add an extra 40 feet to the radius, so like a 60
where are you centering
radius.
it?
So like 120 diameter. 120 feet. I guess the range, I have the range on
Okay, where are you
up
going
to
to center
120
the
feet,
cloud?
so I'll use max range. That should be good.
It's a 20-foot radius sphere.
Like
Alright, so
that
just so
should be
we're
good.
clear on this, you're going to cast that on the side of the mountain and this mountain goes up 100 feet
Ex-
in the air.
Okay, well, the whole point is to, like, obscure the ship, so...
okay, well, the whole point is to, like, obscure the ship, so... So I use a third level spell slot to increase the amount of fog. So instead of 20 feet radius, it's an extra 40 feet. So that would be 60 feet
120 feet
radius,
diameter.
or 120
Alright, so
feet
let me
diameter.
kind of draw this out here. Try to at least. So if we got 5, 10, 15, 20. Yeah, that's a good way to do the measuring. Who did that? Go ahead and finish it. Mark it for me.
So I think that would pretty much engulf the entire...
So I think that
Okay,
would
so it's
pretty much
120 foot
engulf
radius?
the entire...
Then yeah, we'll say you've got all this.
Yeah.
You're doing them or you're doing yourself? What are you engulfing? Everything? Because that'd pretty much be this entire... Sorry, I'm just talking away and not pushing my button. Are you engulfing the entire map here? Or just them? Or just you?
Well... Yeah, I would like to center it at max
well...
so at 120 feet.
Right.
Yeah, I would like to center it at max range, so at 120 feet. That means the center will be at about 120 feet. So that would add an extra 60 feet, and like a 60 feet radius
Alright, so it's a
from
60
that
foot radius, not 120. When you're trying to envelop the entire
is what I'm
centaur
trying to do.
Yeah,
group.
and yeah, it's a 6-foot radius or 120
Yeah.
diameter.
And yeah, it's
Alright, so I'm just going to rule that you've got the entire centaur
or 120
tribe up
diameter.
here enveloped in the fog cloud. Because there is no save to that, right? It's just, that happens, correct?
Yeah.
Alright, so this, you raise your hands up and this fog
Yeah.
mist starts coming out of your palms and rises up the mountainside and envelops this entire tribe of centaurs you saw across the cliff above you. So you can no longer see anything that's above you, and you're assuming that they can't see you at this point as well.
Pretty much. And I let the party know.
Oh, you don't need to let them know, they see it.
Pretty much.
Alright, Quarren, you're up.
And I let the party know.
Oh, I also use the bonus action just to use second level spell slot to get some sorcery points.
Oh, I also use the bonus action just to use second level spell slot to get some sorcery points back.
I believe
It's called I believe flexible casting.
go ahead.
I can convert
Quarren,
one of
you're
my
up.
spell slots into sorcery points.
Alright, so I pretty much can't see them, so I'm gonna actually run over here and check on Nimba. Alright, so I pretty much can't see them, so I'm gonna actually run over here and check on Nimba to see if he's dead or if he's unconscious.
Like I said, he
Like,
took
is
an
he
arrow
actually
right to the
dead, or is
he
he
took an
able
arrow
to
right
come
to the
back
head,
up
and
from
he's
healing?
lying there,
So I'm
not
trying to
breathing,
find out.
appearing to be lifeless.
Alright, so eyes kind of grimace. I'm like, God, no. And then alright, so eyes kind of grimace. I'm like, God, no. And then I'll
that's
just
gonna be a
fire
disadvantage.
blindly into where the centaurs were, hoping to hit one of them. I don't know how you'd want to roll that. Yeah, that's fair.
Remember you got that inspiration die if you want it.
I think
Remember you got that inspiration die if you want it.
I think 17 might be alright.
Alright, so you just
I have another
blindly
attack also.
loose
so
an arrow up the
well,
top
I'll
of
save it
this
for that
cliff,
one.
and you hear it strike something, and you hear a slight, almost like whimper. I'm not sure if you hit anything or what it was, but you heard something rattle around up there.
Alright, fire again. Because the first one sounded so good. Alright, fire again. because the first one sounded so good. And that time I'll just do the D8 because I have
Blindly let another arrow fly. Can't believe you're doing this with freaking disadvantage.
so
And
19.
you hear another little whimper or a yelp. That's your last one, right?
I think I've got something. Yeah, that's my last attack then. I think I've got something. Yeah, that's my last attack.
Kishin
then.
starts shouting. Alright, the
You're one skilled archer.
Mephits are going. We need
Yeah,
you
thank
guys
you.
at the station. Because Jimba, let's
It's all
go.
the selfish training.
At that, Jimba starts steering the ship towards the pass a little bit here. And you hear from the top, Remora calls out. 1 second. She says, raise the aft sail. The aft sail. That's in the back of the ship. Who's manning the aft sail? That was Nimba. Oh, Teagat is? Okay, alright, Nimba was up in the crow's nest. Okay, so you
Teagat
need
is.
to roll a, what did I say? A wisdom check. Based upon what Nimba explained to you how you're supposed to be doing this. Okay, and you're able to raise the aft sail just in time. The rear of the ship kind of shifts slightly off to the left.
I have no.
You managed to miss a boulder right now on the rear side by the sphere. Teagat, you're up. Teagat?
Teagat actually casts Cure Wounds on himself.
Alright, go ahead and roll
Teagat
it.
actually casts Cure Wounds on himself. Hold on. Yeah.
Alright, Renault, you're up.
Okay.
Renault, you still there?
Renault's gonna kind of like run around the corner to over here where the other Renault's gonna kind of like run around the corner to over here where the other like part of the ship that's need to be manned is, or yeah, like right here. And he's just gonna kind of take an action to dodge, so 'cause he can't really hit them from the smoke and all that stuff. But he also kind of looks back and he calls out to Jimba. He's like, "Let's get this
Yeah, the ship is
moving!"
moving at this
Kinda like,
point. Kind of slowly, but
yeah,
it is moving.
obviously wants to get the hell out of here. That's it. That's all I can do. So just like take the dodge action.
Alright, so you guys see another rain of arrows
That's it.
just
That's all I can
flying
do. So
blindly
just like take the dodge
out of the
action.
fog. And you hear all these thunk, 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 all these arrows hitting the deck, hitting the sails, hitting the hull down below it. And 1, 2, 3,
They were
4,
inspired
5,
by
6,
you.
7,
They'll
8,
blame
9,
you
10.
if I get killed.
Alright, I'm assuming
They were
a
inspired
20
by you,
hits,
but I'm gonna blame you if I get killed.
Storm. Is that correct, Teagat?
That hits Storm.
Hopefully they're
12
not as
points
good
of
as
piercing
the shot.
damage.
Yeah, that hits Storm. And Storm is dead.
Renault, does an 18 hit you?
And Storm is dead.
Yes, it does. Is that with disadvantage though?
Yeah, I pre-rolled before you guys got to me.
Yes, it does.
There's just a lot
Is that
of
with
arrows.
disadvantage though?
So that's 9 points of piercing damage.
Roger that. Yeah, that'll hit.
And then you guys also see an arrow hit Kishin up in the crow's nest. And he takes an arrow right to the chest. You hear him cry out and screaming. He looks very, very dazed. And he's bleeding profusely from the top of the crow's nest. But you can still see some kind of movement up there. The big guy, well, you guys can't see him, but he's going to shoot in the general direction. And a 15, Roland.
That's a miss.
Okay, you see another arrow fly by you and sink into the snow behind you.
That's a miss.
You guys hear some chanting up above on the cliff up in the fog, but can't really see what's going on. Roland, you're up.
Alright, I'm just gonna run back to the front of the ship where I was before, just manning that. Alright, I'm just gonna run back to the front of the ship where I was before, just manning that front area. That's all I can really do.
Alright, Novek
Yeah, that's all I
yells
can
out
really
a
do. Dodge
cry.
action.
Just, to me, anyone that's injured, to me. And he reaches back and lays a hand onto Nimba's head, wrapping his hand around the arrow. It's in his skull. You see this blue magic engulf his hand and engulf the arrow, and he rips the arrow out of Nimba's head. And you see Nimba's eyes kind of flutter open. Porto.
Blade Ward. Oh wait, whoops. I guess I have to kind of... Blade Ward. Oh wait, whoops.
I'm sorry?
I guess I have to kind of that in.
Is that on yourself?
Yeah, I cast Blade Ward, and I believe it's on self. Hold on. I believe it's on self. Hold on.
Okay, Quarren.
Yeah, I can only cast it on self. Spell slots to sorcery points. And I'll also use another bonus action to convert spell slots into sorcery points.
I just launched 2 more arrows. Disadvantage. Alright, I yell, we need to get out of here right now. And I just launched 2 more arrows. Disadvantage. First one was good.
Okay, you let loose 2 arrows. One you hear sing as it goes up the hill, but don't hear the thunk like you heard before. The second arrow goes up, and you hear a slight squish sound.
I think I got another one. Lucky shots.
Quit that spark.
I think I got another one. Lucky shots.
You guys hear the sing of what seems like 1,000
Quit that
arrows
spark.
raining from
Ship
above
moving.
again here. Give me a second to roll this. Alright, Teague. Unfortunately, that was another 20 for you. I'm assuming that hits.
Yes, that hits.
7 points of piercing damage.
Yes, that hits.
And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Renault. I'm assuming a 24 hits you as well.
Yes. Is this Centaurs out of turn? I'm confused on why they're shooting out of initiative order. Yes. Is this Centaurs out of turn? I'm confused
you are
on
right.
why
I
they're
had Olamar up
shooting
there. I
out of
assumed it was
initiative order.
Alright, so I'll stop there. The hits will still count when I go up there, as I rolled for it anyway. But, Olamar, that was the one for you guys to actually do your moving. So hold on 1 second. Sorry guys, bad DM. Screwed up. You hear Kishin call out, barely, through gurgled blood almost. Hard to port! Hard to port! All stations need to make me a strength and a wisdom check.
What side is port again?
Port side is the left-hand side.
Left.
But again,
What side is
all
port
stations
again?
need to maneuver the sails or the jibs to
Left.
man this hard to port move. So everybody, all 4 stations need to make a strength and a wisdom check of 12.
Strength and wisdom?
Correct. Because it's hard, you're pulling hard on this jibbing
Strength and
to adjust
wisdom?
the sails, and you got to know just when to stop it so you don't go too far.
Oops, ignore that one. Oops, ignore that one.
Alright, so you rolled it 3 times on accident, Roland?
The first one was intelligence.
Oh, okay, I see it now.
The first one was intelligence. Accidentally clicked on the wrong one.
Alright, so you guys all frantically start rolling on the cranks, trying to get the sail turned just in time. And you guys hear and feel the one side of the ship crash up against a tree. 1 second, gotta figure out which one of the tubes got hit. You see this one over here take a direct hit from a tree. You hear a big crash, and part of the protective covering around it starts to kind of fall off to the side of it. But the glass sphere still appears to be intact. Sorry, this one over here. Alright, Tegan, you're up.
Firing blindly into the fog.
That's a miss. Your
Firing
flies,
blindly into the
you're
fog.
singing up there, but you don't hear it hit anything. How long does this cloud last, Porto?
Yeah.
The cloud, honestly, it stays there unless if wind. The cloud, honestly,
Okay.
it stays there unless if
You guys have moved, you
wind
guessed
blows
maybe
it
another
away
100
or
yards
something
down
happens.
the pass at this point.
Hold on.
Renault, you're up.
Kinda wrote it in there. It lasts for the duration. Okay, so it lasts for about an hour. I kind of wrote it in there.
Okay, that's fine.
It lasts for the
I just wanna make sure
duration.
it wasn't like a
Okay,
quick
so
thing.
it lasts for about an hour,
Alright, Renault, you're up.
and
Renault
Uh,
cast Cure Wounds on himself.
okay.
At the 3rd level. Renault cast Cure Wounds on himself at
Damn,
the
look at
3rd
you.
level.
See, why couldn't I have done that? I full bird.
Wow.
Now,
See,
that
why
was your
couldn't I
action
have
or is
done
that a bonus
that?
action?
I got full bird.
That's an
That
action.
was that's my action, yeah. So, my bonus action, I will give Warren a little... that's my action, yeah. So, my bonus action, I will give Warren a little inspiration again, and just kind of get ready to make some more maneuvers on the
Alright,
boat.
rain of arrows again. Let me roll this one more time here. Oh, already did it once, so I said that last hit. The last hit was on, who did I say it was? Number 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Poor Kishin. You see Kishin take another arrow right into the chest again, and you see him drop down into the crow's nest, and you don't hear anything else left.
How much damage did I take from that arrow attack? It hit me, but I never got the damage.
Sorry,
How
let
much
me roll
damage
it
did I
down, so I
take from
remember
that
if I
arrow
rolled it or
attack?
not.
It hit me, but I never got the damage.
Would have been 8 points of piercing damage.
Roger that.
And since Roland moved to the front of the ship,
Roger that.
the guy that was shooting at him, you see there's another arrow, just shoots kind of in the back of the ship somewhere. It doesn't hit anything. Roland, you're up.
I'm just gonna grab Kishin and try to carry him and I'm just gonna grab Kishin and try to carry him and
He's up in the crow's nest.
drop him
He's
over
not on the deck.
by Nivek, and then
No,
if
he fell
possible
down
run back
inside
to
the
the front
little
of the ship.
bucket up there on the crow's nest.
Okay. Oh, I thought you said he fell down. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know what to do. I can't do anything. Dodge action, I guess. Yeah, I don't know what to do. I can't do anything.
Okay. You see Nivek kind of stand up tall again, and
dodge action, I guess.
Just need to run. Run like the wind. We can't do anything here. Just to me if you're injured. To me. Kind of holds out his hands again. Lays it back down on Nimba. You can see some of the blue light kind of shudder through his body, and Nimba kind of stands up and says, "Okay, okay, let's go." Porto, your action.
All right.
How long does that last for more than
Is
one turn?
Blade Ward still up?
It lasts until the end of this turn, like on the end of his turn right now.
Okay.
Okay, then I'll cast
It lasts until the end of this turn, like on the end of his turn right now.
All right, Quarren, you're up.
Okay, then I'll cast it again. And yeah, I'm done.
Okay. I'm gonna run over and grab Storm and kind of bring him back to Nivek. And then I'll go back to Renault. If I'm standing next to him, I'll be able to assist him with his checks. And then I'll go back to Renault. If I'm standing next to him, I'll be able to assist him with
Yeah,
his
we'll let him do
checks
his
for
advantage if you're helping him.
for the sale or whatever. Okay, cool. And then I'll just
you
get the
guys hear
shots off
Remora.
again real quick. Disadvantage.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna add the +8 to the first one here. Whoops, I just refreshed the page by accident. So the first one was 19. So the first one was 19.
You let 2 arrows fly again. You hear the reoccurring theme, seems like, of one singing and one hearing your thunk up top. And a little whimper. You guys hear Remora call out, "Furl the bow sail! Furl the bow sail!" That's the front. So, Roland, you need to do me a wisdom check. 11. Determine you know how much to furl it by. Did I forget to push talk?
No, I heard you.
Roland, you still there?
No, I heard you.
Alright, let me check TeamSpeak. Yeah, I still see him there.
Then you step away, maybe?
Let me scroll up. I don't think I saw anything about be right back.
Then you step away, maybe?
No, I don't see anything. Roland, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. What's up? Sorry, I had to step away for a second.
Your station needs to furl the sail, so Romeo
Yeah, I'm here.
Wiz,
What's up? Sorry, I
Wiz
had
check
to step away
11
for a second.
to determine if you know how far down to furl it. Alright, so you pass. So guys, you maneuver again. You narrowly miss a boulder within the pass. You guys have now moved another 100 yards down the pass at this point. Okay, I need Roland and Porto to make me a perception check.
Go, Roland.
Alright, so Porto and Roland, you hear
Go,
this,
Roland.
this loud crashing noise out in front of you.
Sweet.
Damn!
And then you see a large boulder flying through the air up towards into the fog. And you hear it crash up above here into this fog, and you hear a lot of moans and shouts and screams. And you see another boulder come flying out of the fog in front of you up towards the top and crashing down. And you hear the shrill cackle of this voice up there. "Retreat! Retreat! Back up, my friends! Back up! We will be back! We will be back. Roland, you will be mine. And you guys see, coming down the path, what appears to be a giant ent, or a treant, if you choose, with 2 more boulders in its hands, walking towards you guys and the hill up here. Tegan, you're up.
Tegan runs forward to the front mast and starts humming to get the kitchen. Tegan runs forward to the front mast and starts humming to get the kitchen. Can I make it to where kitchen's at in one run? Leaving
I'll
the
say
back
to
mast
climb
in
up there, that's
Nimba's hands.
at,
Can I make it to where
difficult
kitchen's
terrain.
at in one run?
so whatever your movement is, normally to get to the mast, and then we'll call it 30 feet up the mast as well. So it's probably going, oh, sorry, I'm just talking away. It's difficult terrain to climb up the mast, and he's about, I'll say 10 to 15 feet up the mast as well. So you can probably get to the mast, but probably not up to him.
That's fine. Then I'll just get to him this round.
All right, Renault.
That's fine. Then I'll just get to him this round.
Renault gives Quarren like a little nod. He's gonna run over to Storm. Renault gives Quarren like a little nod. He's gonna run over to Storm and do a little
All right, let's roll it.
cure wounds at my last spell slot on him at 3rd level.
Let's see your 23 heal. 24. Jeez.
Even better.
Jeez. He has 16 hit points.
Well, he's back on his feet.
Even better.
Jeez. He has 16 hit
That's
points.
a Storm hops back up, almost like he's ready to go play ball.
Well, he's back on his feet.
His
now.
tail's wagging, his tongue's hanging out. He's like, okay, okay.
And as my bonus action, I'll again give Quarren like a little inspiration to keep. And as my bonus action, I'll again give Quarren like a little inspiration to keep hitting those
Go ahead.
centaurs or whatever he's shooting at, since he's been doing a pretty good job at it. I don't have to roll for it. It's just a thing I do.
Oh.
My turn's over.
Okay, alright, no problem. Alright, so the back of the
I
ship,
don't have to roll for it. It's
there's
just
a
a
few
it's just
more
a thing I do.
arrows that come
My turn's
flying.
over.
and they all fall short of the ship. You guys appear to be kind of pulling away from them at this point. And I'll say we're out of initiative at this point. I'm sorry, what?
And towards a big int.
You are.
We are.
Oh, okay, awesome. I thought we were going towards
Alright,
the
so you
end.
guys, the last of the arrows kind of drop through there. You guys
We
are
are.
slowly making your way to
Oh,
the
okay,
path.
awesome.
You see the treant up in front of you hold up one of its large limbs that appear like a hand, holding it up almost like in a halt motion for you guys to stop.
The methods to
Stop it.
try to pull the direction.
I
No,
can catch all that.
Right,
So
the
roll
methods
your
to-
first, what you said.
no, stop it.
Try to
Stop
pull
the ship.
the direction. Actually can't change the direction we're going in. Never mind.
Okay. Quarren, was that you?
Never
saying
mind,
something
I
else?
I actually can't change the direction we're blowing in. Never mind.
Yeah, I was just yelling to either Nimber or Jimba to stop
Now,
the ship.
Jimba's kind of
Whichever
here
one
shit.
was.
Kind of holds back on
directing
his,
it.
his reins, on his controls at the mast up there, and the ship kind of stops where it is and just hovers at this point. You see the treant kind of take a few more steps forward, picks up one of the boulders, and slings it over the back of over the top of the ship, kind of towards the back over here again. And you hear it crashing up against the mountainside over there. And he hurls another one over here somewhere as well. You hear the crashing sound, but then he just stands there in front of you guys, not saying anything at this point. Looks around for a couple more boulders and picks them up.
Here's pretty friendly. Just scared the centaurs off. Well,
He slowly makes his way on the
here's
side of the ship over
pretty
here.
friendly. Just scared the centaurs off. Creature of the forest. What brings you into the snow So I'll walk up. Greetings, creature of the forest. What brings you into the snowlands?
While Corin's talking, Tegan casts Cure Wounds on Kishin for 3.
So you manage to climb up to the crow's nest and reach in and do your magic upon Kishin. You see him slowly kind of come back up, and you see him spit some blood out of his throat. Looks up at you and says, "Are we safe? Are we dead?" And Corn, to you, the go ahead.
Dead? No. Safe? Maybe. Not sure on that yet. Hold on.
Corn, you see the entrant extend out one arm towards
Dead?
you.
No.
One hand,
Safe?
one
Maybe.
palm
Not
raised
sure
up.
on that yet. Hold
And
on.
he closes all his fingers except for one. He holds one finger up, almost like he's motioning you to wait just a moment, as you see him peering up the mountainside, like he's looking for something up along the cliffside up there.
I just wait patiently.
He takes another lumbering step up further along the edge of the cliff, kind of
I
walks
just wait
beside you,
patiently.
and he flings 2 more boulders up along this way into the fog, which is now kind of behind you guys, and then turns back towards you, and you see him slowly start to kind of shrink, form into something much smaller, until eventually he shrinks down into a human form. Says, "Thank the gods you survived. I've been tracking those guys for weeks. No doubt they would have taken you eventually. My name is Jodell."
That was quite impressive changing from the whole
Well-
ensign. Thank you so much for saving. That was quite impressive changing from the whole ensign, but thank you so much for saving us. We were in bad trouble there until you showed up.
I came upon these guys a couple days ago up in the mountains. I'm not sure exactly what they were doing, but then when the avalanche happened, I lost their trail. But I've been tracking them for days. No doubt they came from Helgabal as well. Is that where you guys came from? Were you fleeing from there?
We came from there. We're not fleeing. We're actually on our way to go and seek more aid to bring back to there. We came from there. We're not fleeing. We're actually on our way to go and seek
You're
more
not
aid
fleeing?
to bring back to there.
I hate to tell you this, but Helgabal has fallen. I just assumed that you guys are trying to get away.
What? No. We left a couple days ago, but when we left it was in just good shape. What? No. We left a couple days ago, but when we left it was in just
2 days
good
ago,
shape, besides
The
the
Centaurs attacked
the
Helgabal.
plague going on, no
Took the
centaur
city
attacks at
within
all.
by nightfall. There's rumors of still survivors, and I think they may have enslaved them, but the city has fallen. They're now under the rule of the Centaurs.
Slave, well, we can't stand for that. Is there aid coming to Helgabal? Enslaved, well, we can't stand for that. Is there aid coming to Helgabal?
Only a few
What
of
are
the
what are
Druids
the
know
other
of
neighboring
what happened out there. There's been a few
kingdoms
scouts that have
doing?
been able to escape to learn, but I've no news yet of anyone coming to help. So you said you were heading to where? To Bildubaris?
Yes, to build a virus. We have need of supplies, but now that Helgabal. Yes, to build a virus. We have need of supplies, but now that Helgabal's gone, I'm not sure what we can do.
And just like kind of look down at Jodell. Renault will kind of walk over next to Corin
So Jodell is
and just like kind of look down at
rough-looking
Jodell and
human,
kind of just start listening and figure out what's
wearing
going on.
simple clothes, somewhat of a bear, not a bear skin, more like a polar bear fur cloak at this point. Soft wool boots, very earthy looking portion. He looks down at you, Renault, and says, "My halfling friend, how are you this fine evening? Almost died, I see there."
Got quite lucky this time, though. kind of lets off like a nervous chuckle, like kind of like. Got quite lucky this time, though. He kind of lets off like a nervous chuckle, like kind of like wiping himself off, realizing it was a pretty close one. But
If you've seen druids before, I mean, he has the look about him.
would I
of a
know
druid.
he's a druid just by like knowing, just by seeing him? Did I see him transform, or was that just Quarren, like from?
No, you guys all would have seen him transform. He transformed.
Did I see
from
him
this giant,
transform,
huge
or was that just
tree
Quarren,
down to this,
like from
normal human
tree
form.
into
So, yeah,
human?
everyone would have seen that.
All right, Reynolds will, by that means he knows what, at least what kind of like class, quote unquote. All right, Reynolds will, by that means he knows what, at least what kind of like class, quote unquote, Jedi is. Master Druid, could you get aboard our airship? We need to get moving. I don't mean any disrespect, but we're not exactly in a safe position. Maybe we can talk about this on the way to build the board.
But then I must leave you. But yes, I agree. We should get moving. He'll join you guys up on the ship if you're inviting him.
After hearing about the whole druid thing, after hearing about the whole druid thing, I go up to Jodel and just introduce myself to him and ask him very briefly if he's aware of any druid circles.
He kind of looks at you
any
almost
group
surprised.
of druids that
You are
are
an elf,
within the
are you
forest
not?
of Lether.
You know of the Circle of Leth, I'm assuming, and so yes, I am aware of the druids within the Circle of Leth. Is that what you speak of?
Yes.
What would you like to know? What can I tell you?
Yes.
Yeah, the ship is moving at this point. Nimba's already kind of put everybody in motion, and they're slowly kind of making their way through the debris of the avalanche. A lot slower than you were before, but they are making their progress.
Tegan helps Kish down to the back so he can get a little bit more healing, and then finds his way to Jodel. Tegan helps Kish down to the back so he can get a little bit more healing, and then finds his way to Jodel.
Reynolds will jump up to where Ishin was on the
At this point, you guys are making a much slower
bird's
pace,
eye,
so I'll
bird's
make you
nest
guys do
area.
all the wisdom and strength checks at this point. But you guys are able to maneuver your way through the avalanche debris at this point, and within 15-20 minutes, you guys can get beyond the debris fields and run at your normal pace.
Just as they clear the paths, when the ship's with it, Tegan steps to the aft deck and casts Thunder Wave. Just as they clear the paths, when the ship's with it, Tegan steps to the aft deck
So you
and
call
casts
out
Thunder
your
Wave to
magic,
cause the avalanche
and
again
you
behind
hear
it.
the roar of another avalanche coming through, and the druid kind of looks over at you and says, "Do you have any idea how many innocent animals you just destroyed there?" And he kind of shakes his head.
Yes, I do. But it should slow the centaurs down. Fortunately, yes, I do. But
Yes,
it should
that's
slow
possible.
the
We could have
centaurs
slowed them down, but from what I heard about the brute force within Helgabah,
where
that
they
won't hold
will
them for long.
follow. Perhaps long enough for us to make our destination.
So
In any case,
Perhaps long enough for us to make our destination.
I may be an elf, but I'm not from these parts. In any case,
obviously so. But so
I may be
yes,
an elf, but I'm not
I am
from
part of the
these
druids,
parts.
the Circle of Leth, within the Forest of Lethir. I've been tracking these centaurs, like I said, for days now, trying to figure out what's going on with them. As for my investigation at this point, they are in concert, I believe, with beings from another plane.
Is that so?
Frog-like, if I'm not mistaken.
Frog-like, yes, but much
Is
more
that so?
dangerous.
Frog-like, if I'm not mistaken.
Have you encountered them as well?
Not
You could say that.
Yes. We have. Oh, yes.
Few of us have.
Not
You could
in
say that.
person.
Yes, we have.
A few of us have at least.
I came across some murals in the mines within these mountains, and stumbled upon information regarding the forests of Lether,
Also,
among
please,
other
please share me the
locations,
details of
all
what you
tying with
discovered.
these
This is
frog
most
creatures.
interesting.
Yeah, I trust I tell him everything that
Yeah, I trust Jodel. I tell him everything that I
All right. So as you
found
explained to
out
him
within the
about
mines, and
in
I
particular,
explain everything
the
to him.
skeletons and the creatures that you found, the leftovers of the creatures that you found down in there, he shares it. Yes, it's as I suspected. I have no doubt now that the Slotty are involved with this somehow. Are you familiar with the Slotty?
not at all.
The Slotty are an evil race from the plane of Limbo. They haven't been here for
Not at
centuries.
all.
They once attacked our civilization, the material plane, but were driven back by the great Magister Talum, the former Magister of Mistra. They they were able to build these portals to bring their armies into the material plane, to wreak devastation and destruction upon the land.
Is that so? I came across a portal within the mines.
Is that so? I came
Now that
across
go ahead.
a portal
I guess
within the mines.
Right. He explains to you
I-
basically the details of
I guess I would have
the
explained that
last
to him.
time they came through here, that these portals were destroyed at least 1,000 years ago. And he tells you of these ancient tomes that tells these portals that were built and concealed in all these kind of dark places by the Slotty. So they were destroyed by that wizard by the name of Talum. So Talum possessed a powerful talisman that was used in a long forgotten ritual at the site of each one of these portals to close the dimension doors forever. He said that talisman also contained an extracted piece of the spawning stone, which he goes in detail what the spawning stone is. Basically what all the Slotty are drawn to within the plane of Limbo, and each of them contain a piece of that spawning stone embedded within their skulls. When they are first born, they do not have this stone within their skull, but as they're drawn to the stone, it gets embedded into their skull, and they all become one, like a hive, so to speak. He said this talisman of Talum contained an extracted piece from that spawning stone, and that's how it gained its power. And he used that talisman to basically destroy all those portals. But he said that talisman also was a tool that could be used to create the portals. And he fears now that the Slotty have figured out how to do that once again.
Is that so?
And you share with him the different symbols
Is
along
that so?
the portal perimeter, correct?
Yes.
Alright, so as you explain the different symbols you see on there, you see a little bit of recollection
Yes.
come upon his face as he starts to ponder for a moment. Says, yes, I think I've seen some of those before. Sorry, go back to my notes to make sure I don't screw this up. The demon face. I believe you're correct. That represents the fortress of the half demon. The mountain peaks, as you suspect. I too believe that's from the Icerim Mountains. The city under a dome. I haven't seen or heard about that in centuries, in tombs centuries old. But I believe that is the lost city of Jastath, buried under a mountain somewhere off to the east. I think somewhere near Rashomon. The symbol of the merman or the merfolk, that tribe of creatures once thrived within Lake Ashane, off to our east as well. and the circle of trees, that's a precursor to the circle of Leth that represents the forest of Lethir as well. I fear that those symbols being on that portal means that they have constructed portals to each one of those locations.
I see, and his mines were just one of them, one of the locations. I see, and
This
his
is
mines were
grave
just
news
one of them,
indeed.
one of
We
the
must
locations.
figure out a way to confirm if these porters are still functioning, which I have no doubts now that I am, based on the sightings
User
I've seen
disconnected from your
of these
channel.
Slotty working with these centaurs, that they must be destroyed. But the talisman, it's no longer, I'm not sure if it even exists anymore.
You mentioned something quite similar to what I discovered within the mines. Friend of mine. You mentioned something quite similar to what I discovered within the mines. Friend of mine, one of the dwarfs I hired, found this gem hidden in his skull among the skeletons within the
May I
mines.
see it? May I hold it, please?
Perhaps this is part of the talisman.
He takes the gem into his hand and holds it in the palm of both hands and holds it
Of
tight.
course.
You see him close his eyes, almost like he's meditating for a moment. A few moments pass of silence. He opens his eyes and says, "Yes, this is from a Slotty. This is the gem that gets implanted into their skulls. It draws itself towards the spawning stone, as all Slotty do. So I have no doubts now. The Slotty are back."
And what exactly is this gem?
It's part of the hive process, like I mentioned before.
And what exactly
When
is this
a
gem?
Slotty is born or is born by an infested host, once it comes out, it is drawn to the spawning stone. Once it reaches it, it transforms into its full-grown self and takes a part of the spawning stone with it. And the entire tribe of the Slotty work together as a hive, talking to each other telepathically within the plane. And all they seek is to wreak destruction and desolation of all the human races.
Then in some way this could be used to locate other Salatis that have... Then in some way this could be used to locate
I'm not sure
other
if it works that way,
Salatis
but
that have
it's
crystals
worth us
embedded
giving a
in
shot.
them as well.
I must converse with the rest of the circle. May I take this gem and converse with them?
Let me discuss it with my party. Let me discuss it with my party.
We have business with the circle of left anyway. Perhaps we travel with him. We have business with the circle of left anyway. Perhaps we travel with him. More about this race of frog beings. Other issues in the area. I'm seeking information. More about this
Well, the circle does
race
not
of frog beings.
invite outsiders
other
within
issues in the area in general.
their tight-knit circle. The meeting places change from time to time, and as you can understand, we must remain in deep secret. So unfortunately, I don't think you will get an audience with the circle. However, I could possibly transfer your message or your request or what have you to the circle on your behalf.
Yes. Tell them that Tegan Taffel is searching for them. My name should be familiar. Yes. Tell them that
He kind of gives you a
Tegan
knowing look.
Taffel is searching for them.
I
My
once
name
knew
should
a
be
Taffel,
familiar to summon the circle.
a sweet woman, a few years ago. I've lost track of who she is. Was your mother a druid?
Yes, she was.
What?
She is no longer with us.
I'm sorry to hear that, Tegan.
Yes,
as I
she
recall,
was.
she was a good woman. It's been years since I've seen her.
But she is no
but
longer with us.
She was a good woman and a friend to the circle. So, if I can
Yes.
take
You
this
served the circle well.
gem to my brethren within the circle, I'm sure we can come up with a plan of what needs to happen, what we can do to help prevent any more of this destruction by the centaurs or the Slotty, which I have no doubt they're behind this as well.
I appreciate the offer. I'm seeking. I appreciate the offer. I'm seeking. I'm in fact seeking a. Let me try that again. I appreciate the offer. However, I am particularly attached to. Yes, I appreciate the offer. However, I am particularly attached to mysterious artifacts of unknown origins with unknown properties, and I would very much like to do some research on this gem. I do have
I will take you as far as the
intention
forest,
of bringing it to the circle
but I
myself.
cannot reveal the location of the circle. You must understand this.
I understand.
Okay, well, so be it. I'll take you as far as the forest
I
entrance,
understand.
but no further. From there, you must make your decision of letting me take the gem, or perhaps another member of the circle could come to you. I can make no promises beyond that.
Okay.
Okay, so where do you guys want to go from here?
Okay.
You guys are on the long road. You're still heading towards Bildubaris. The Nimba tells you guys the next city coming up will be Gied. Let me go back to the map. Sorry, I'm just talking away without pushing a button. I don't know how much I just missed there.
No, I heard you.
Oh, okay. So you guys are...
I do need to go in about 5 minutes, though.
No, you're good.
No, I heard you.
And then from there, move on to the.
I
I
do
say
need
we
to go in
move on
about
to
5
Gied
minutes,
and on
though.
to Bildabaris, alert them,
Alright, so you guys are on the road right now.
and then
On
from
the long
there
road.
move on
and
to
heading
the
towards
forest
Gied will be the next
left.
town you guys come to. Before you come to Bildaboris, which is a little bit farther here to the south. And during your journey, those places that the druid Jodel told you guys about, the merfolk were known to be populated within Lake Ashane here, all along this area here. Didn't quite go down all the way down to Lake Mulsanter. That's where some of the more evil of the, I guess, underwater creatures lived. So the merfolk tend to live more on the northern shores within Lake Ashane. And we talked about Jastath. He believes it's somewhere within these mountains up here, within Mount Nar. And whatever the name of these mountains are, I gotta zoom in. Within the Furward Mountains is where they believe Jastath once resided. Again, it's been lost for centuries, somewhere up in the mountains. What was the other place he told you about? And I think that was the only two places you guys didn't know about, right? The merfolk and the Jastath, the city under their dome.
Yeah, those were the only two places that we didn't know about.
Yeah, we had to piece together on our own.
And he also tells you the story of how
we didn't know about.
Talum
Yeah, we had to
came
piece
to
together on our own.
possess the talisman. It wasn't something that was forged all at once. It was something that was built with the help of a very wise gnome within Mucklestone, because in order to build the talisman they had to extract a piece of the original spawning stone from the plane of Limbo. And this wise gnome made this contraption that was able to extract a piece of it out, and that's what went into this talisman. So there were some very rare and exotic pieces and incantations that went into making this gem extractor, as he calls it. But once they had that stone, Talion was able to do the ritual to start closing all the portals the last time the Slutty did this. He has no doubt that this is what needs to happen again.
Alright. I probably need to be calling it a night here soon.
Yeah, I was going to say, unless you guys got some more questions you want to ask of Druid, I was going to call it
Alright.
there as well.
I
Roland
probably
had
need to be
leave,
calling it a night here
so
soon.
he'll get caught up hopefully by watching this online either tomorrow or the next day.
Can we consider the travel time like a long rest?
Oh yeah, no problem. You guys are going to be traveling. It's going to be a couple more days at least.
Can we
before you guys
consider
can
the
reach,
travel time like a
Jid.
long rest?
Okay then. I think that's everything. Well, everything that's. Okay then. I think
Okay,
that's
so
everything.
just to quickly recap,
Well, everything that
Jim,
Portal
you
wants to
guys
ask.
are holding on to it until you get closer to the Circle of Leth. He told you the story of how Talion created this talisman, and he thinks that you guys will need to do that again in order to defeat the Slotty or prevent them from coming in more numbers into the material plane. You guys have Navek back. Valar was killed. Emmett is still missing. Did I miss anything?
I don't think so.
Sounds good.
Okay, so just one last thing. 2 weeks is going to be like the week of Christmas, so that's off.
Yep.
So I
I
was
don't think
going
so.
to
Sounds good.
suggest we meet again. I think. Let me look at the calendar. I think it's 3 weeks. 3 weeks will be January 1st. Does anybody see any issues with that? Or would you rather push it back another week
don't
to the
think so.
8th? All right, so I'll send out an email to everybody, including Roland, that we're
I
shooting for
don't
the
think
1st
so.
for our next session in there, and then we'll pick up where we left off here.
Okay, sounds good.
Alright, cool.
All right, thanks guys, appreciate it. No, this is an RP heavy session. I kind of anticipated that,
Okay, sounds good.
but we'll see where you guys
Alright,
go
cool.
next.
Sounds good, man.
Alrighty then.
All right, thanks guys. Good night and have a good weekend.
No, that was
Oh,
good,
it
man.
was fun. It was fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Happy holidays.
Yeah, likewise.
Yep. Happy holidays, folks.
Yeah.
You too.
From your